in the neutral, but mostly good.
Neutral good.
I'd even say like mostly lawful good.
There are some liberties that are taken. It's
Mhm.
a fine line. It's a good thing to not have the alignment, so I can play that line.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a beautiful in between. I don't want to be too awful sometimes.
He'd be like neutral evil, like chaotic evil, or
Nah, he's definitely more lawful.
I'm talking about myself.
Oh, I'd say you're probably close to chaotic good or chaotic neutral.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like one of the way.
Yeah.
All right,
I feel like my character's gotta be like.
you grab some shoes.
Probably.
All right. Hello. We are the Initiative Syndicate. It is Wednesday. We are on the air a little earlier than we normally are because reasons. We have reasons, and that's what we do. We play Dungeons and Dragons, and tonight we're going to do that. Excuse me. We're going to play Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to do a recap, and then we're going to basically get right into it. So on last week's episode / session, our group of adventurers, the Gravy Train, were deep down in the Undercity into the the areas of the Wood Wraith Forest, trying to further explore and find their way into Golgari territory, heading towards the trying to find like maybe the main guild gate. With no guide to guide them, they came across a dilapidated hut, and that hut housed a blind Golgari swarm lord. They were attacked by insectoids and these winged beings known as Crawl. They were victorious. They win. And that's pretty much where we ended the session, I believe, was that you guys won against the Crawl.
Yeah. Yep.
So you guys are wiping Crawl guts off of your weapons and your faces. Did anybody go down? That I don't think so.
Someone died, and I gave you like 1 point of healing.
Yeah, you're back up now.
And then I broke you 2 out of the vines.
Yeah, I think you got dealt with like 42 necrotic damage by blight or something.
Yep.
That was brutal.
Brutal.
Yeah, that spell's brutal. It's pretty good.
I can't believe Ellen went down either. First.
It's been like a while.
3 episodes.
Yeah.
So
He almost got killed for shoplifting.
if he keeps trying to steal stuff, even those episodes are going to be dangerous to his
Yeah,
health.
Fireball
You
bombs,
stole
I'm
something.
using him instead.
What?
You are a thief.
I don't know.
You stole money.
You stole my
Only a
heart.
thief if you get caught. And I borrowed it for
Exactly. That's why I'm not.
the stuff that I
stealing
borrowed helped you out. So
These are all facts. Why are you talking about old shit?
all the stuff I do is for all my best friends. Maybe.
Maybe.
I wanted to see who you were looking at when you said it, and you were looking at no one.
yeah. That's the point.
My best friend's a beer can.
Right now, it's the mug of ale that the mechanical keeper's making for me.
Okay, so
Because we're in that little.
what would you like to do? You are still deep within the Wood Wraith territory,
We were inside the
the hut.
The hut.
We're
Correct.
inside the hut.
We brought the magical hut out.
Oh, you guys are in the mansion.
Yeah, the little mansion that we had in
That's right.
the orb.
Did we? No, we did that last night
Huh?
in game.
I think we did that before the hut.
Yeah,
Did
And
we?
then we did the hut because we ended like right after.
Ah,
that.
gotcha.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we,
okay.
I was stoned, and then we unfroze, went
Yep.
to the
Oh,
hut.
that's right.
Yes, because a lot of us were still hurt.
Okay,
after.
never mind.
Yeah, so
I'm
we,
not-
so
Session behind.
I don't remember
Over
if there was
there,
a cooldown on that thing or not.
I think you guys rested after the Gorgon encounter in the
Exactly.
house.
Mm.
so continue onward, I guess.
Okay.
towards Wherever we're heading.
Yeah, and I'm not changing forms. I'm still one of those snaky people.
Okay.
Oh, can we check the hut? Is there any?
You guys didn't have time to, but yeah, you always can check things.
Oh yeah,
You guys like killed them, and then it was like time to go.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Oh, like
That is
session,
true.
like
session was done.
session's
So
over. Not
yeah.
like, oh shit.
No. The oh shit happened,
Guys, I see a giant
and then you
skeleton
handled
on
the
this
oh
road.
shit, and then
All right.
then the game was over.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of take a peek around, trying to look for any kind of magical items, keys,
Okay, so you are doing a thorough investigation.
Indeedio.
Okay.
Yeah, I was supposed
So
to
make
specify-
an investigation check.
Squiz is just following Elvin around, be like, make sure you look for healing
Guidance.
potions.
You're giving me guidance.
Yeah.
Is it D4?
D4.
Okay.
Yeah. 15 plus.
I didn't do that well.
19. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. He gets to take over.
I'll probably just keep watch while they're searching the hut.
So you find odd and end things in the huts. This woman, shaman, swarm lord, as I referred to her as, she clearly lived here for a long time. You're not sure if she moved in after the hut was terrible or before it was terrible. You see all the evidence of someone who is blind that lived there. There's scuffs on the floor from a walking stick. Certain books have almost like a braille-like substance on it to where you can read. It doesn't actually look like any language that you're familiar with, but you've seen similar things, especially with spellcasters. There's what looks to be some sort of like animal droppings in the house over in some of the corners. But this person,
She poops in the corner.
this person also seem to also be friends with these bugs, so you're not sure maybe if that's related. As far as valuables, she seems to have no valuables on her person or in the hut, except for a small pouch that has some coins in it. It's on like this little nightstand next to, I guess you could call it a bed, although it looks like a bunch of sticks and leaves, and some of it actually looks like it might be animal dung. It looks more like a nest than an actual bed.
Nice. I guess I'll go ahead and open the pouch at least.
So inside the pouch is roughly about 75 gold in various denotions. It looks to be of different ages and quality. So you think that maybe this is just things that she has gotten from travelers or people that wandered into the area.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Well, did you find anything over there?
Just gold.
Okay. Well, I'm
Wrong person to say that to.
I'm going to take a finger because this bitch might have been powerful, and it might make me more powerful, making us all more powerful. You see what I'm saying?
I don't follow how that would happen.
You know, I'll tell you when you're older.
Okay, but I'm always older.
Older.
I'm pretty old.
All right.
I'm older than you.
You really think so?
Do you have any gray hair?
You'll like look at it. No, none on my head. I can make my hair gray.
It's true.
That doesn't count.
He can make himself look like a really old person.
No, I got to stay in my current form. We can't switch this over.
Imagine a trick. Just show up as a
Something
really,
worked so well the last
really old person. Just like bring out scoff on face.
I will whoop
Advantage
your
with your
ass.
deception checks right there.
Scofflog's actually a walker.
It's got the little tennis balls on it.
They're made out of mithril.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't see anything here of value, or notes. I'll keep pretending I'm a part of the snake people. If anything goes down, I'll make you guys my prisoners.
So
Wait, I'm sorry. I was trying to make a note. What?
If we run into more of the snake people,
Oh, okay.
they're my prisoners.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I was like, why are they your prisoners now?
I'm gonna walk up to Elvin and I'm just taking my finger and just like wipe it down. I'm like with all the blood probably coming off, and he's got one hit point. I'm like, Buddy, you might want to patch yourself up a little bit. You don't look too healthy right now.
We could take a minute if you need a minute.
I'm gonna need longer than a minute. But I felt better. I mean, is it really noticeable?
Well, like right here, and right here, and across there,
Yeah.
and
Not so much here though.
like two right there.
Okay. Well, what
You-
happened? What happened to me?
Well, you think this would suck that we have to repeat ourselves so much time for the same incident? You finish it off,
like-
Rocky. You got this.
It's like deja vu. Normally, when someone swings a weapon at you, you're supposed to dodge it. You block it with your face, and then you fell over unconscious.
Yeah, this instance
Again.
it was a
Doesn't have a
very
shield.
powerful blight.
Why would you have a shield and not use it?
Okay. Well, that's
I-
fair.
I don't
That
know.
sounds like something I do.
Are you hoping we find a hill in here and you just go down it and sled and stuff?
You know, you can take a lot of people out with. Never mind. Let's
Yeah.
just get some rest.
Let's take a minute.
Are we doing like 30 minutes? Are you guys giving me like time for maybe one of
Well,
those
you guys
long
have just
rests?
recently taken an
You're
8-hour
gonna
rest,
quit-
so
Get a quick little nap in.
I'm
Get
go-
up,
I'm going to
sit
say
down,
that-
have your little sandwich.
no, you cannot take another 8-hour rest. You just took
Why the
one
fuck not?
because you can't.
Yeah, like
Because what I
This
want
is-
you to do is I want you to
is
go
my
home.
game.
Oh, wait, you are home. I want you to go upstairs and go to bed, sleep for a solid 8 hours. I want you to get up, go to the gym, work out for like 20 minutes, come home and see if you can go back to sleep and sleep for another 8 hours.
Benadryl.
Nap, maybe. I'd buy that. Maybe you could lay down for about an hour, maybe 2 tops.
This is my game.
You're not wrong, and you're welcome to take it over at any point that you want.
Don't worry, guys. Let's knock him over the head. He's only got one hit point.
Well, that's different. That's way different.
All right. Well,
So if you want to take a short rest,
Short
I'll
rest
take
would
a
be-
short.
you absolutely can do
short
that.
rest would be fine. I feel
Well,
like
who's keeping guard while I rest?
I'll keep guard so I never get hit. So I'm fully.
It's because we're best friends. That's why you're keeping guard.
Wow, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yep. Good.
I
Good.
always keep an eye on my best friend. And I'm just looking around in the corner. I just do like a quick sweep of all three.
I will also indulge in a short rest.
Did you get hit?
a little bit, not that much.
Did you get hit?
What slots do we get back to this? Ooh, I got max healing. That's pretty good.
You only had to heal up to like 8.
You mean half my?
You
health?
guys won because of him last time. Don't
I
forget
know,
that.
But you know, we got to keep motivating.
That was really good motivation. He did great. You guys are always like, oh, he never helps. And he killed a couple.
Oh no, we suck
You
again.
see what I did with that?
He's
healing?
like, oh, no, we suck again.
Can you use hit dice one at a time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to say, I'm going to spend 4 and then see what happens.
Ooh, good. I don't even have to repo animation.
Going like that, you do.
Hey, at least they aren't D6s.
Oh, you
Is
guys.
that yours?
Yeah, we can keep going.
Okay.
But I rolled max, so I got 12, which is exactly how much damage I took. So. Well, that was part of the song.
Nope, not that song. So, where to? You guys have gotten you guys took a little breather. You patched up some wounds.
Well, I think last session you said I don't know the direct route, but I knew like the route.
You have a general idea, yeah.
Exactly. So I guess we'll just keep heading in the direction we think is the right way. So.
Okay. Didn't you just buy those dice?
Did you just use it?
It was a 135,
135.
and then I got a 358. Yang and yang. Shit.
Yeah.
You add your con per dice. Con must be 0.
So, you're talking next to your microphone. I was just letting you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was adding.
I'm just
I
letting
was
you know.
doing it in silence.
I was just letting you know. I wasn't sure if your dialogue was important or not.
No.
Got it.
One
Plus 3.
plus 2.
Oh,
I
you're
can see the hit points.
you're dialoguing math over there. Got it.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
I
All right.
used all the hit dice.
All of them?
Oh, I shouldn't have told it to you.
Oh, wow.
I'd be like,
He's gonna be like that either way. Take a shot.
I never hold any punches on you guys. I won't say I'm trying to win, but I'm also not trying to lose.
That sounds like somebody's trying to win.
Okay. So, with Lizica leading the sort of general way, you guys are using light sources down here? Have you guys... I don't remember. Torches. Okay. So, Lizica, since you are kind of leading the way, I need you to make a... Since this is the woods...
But it tried,
Sur-
I had his horns lit up
survival check.
with light.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh
I
god,
think that only
that's
lasts
a 3.
Ooh. Roll a d12.
Oh god. Only one thing. Oh, I got a 12.
Oh, that's
Oh, okay. Well, let me check in my
Exactly.
little notes and book over here.
I had to roll for random thing.
It just
Okay.
doesn't do one thing.
So, with a 12,
Your horns might still be lit up.
That's pretty dope.
you feel very confident that you are heading in the right direction. You think that this is the way. Huh?
Let's check it out.
Do I sound fine? Sweet. You feel like you are heading in the right direction, but then you kind of... Rocky kind of gets the feeling that maybe you guys are not heading in the right direction because he feels like he's seen that tree before.
Seen that tree before.
So you guys actually you lose about 2 hours worth of travel time because you got a little turned around. But now that you realize that, you're kind of heading back in the direction. So I need you to make another survival check.
Since I spotted the
Guidance.
tree, can I kind of assist him and tell him? I think. It's,
Yeah, are you proficient with survival?
I'm not, but I do have advantage when it comes to like always knowing where north is and.
Okay,
labyrinth
I'll allow it.
things.
Yeah, I'm good with that. You can either each roll separate, or you can help him and roll advantage.
I will help you.
Okay, well, the best I can do is now get a 20 since I rolled a 19.
You
Solid.
can just do it. Settling
Plus,
for
he
it.
gave me guidance, so I have a 20.
So 20.
You're still lost.
You've seen the same tree 4 times in a row.
You feel that you've made it towards the edge of the forest. That's confirmed since the wilderness around you seems to dissipate. It gets lighter. There's not really grass here as much as there's moss and dirt and rocks and decay. They look like decaying trees. There's a lot of mushrooms and fungi. There's vines that look like they have that like fur on them, like poison sumac. Various colors. There's green vines and dark green and brown and some that are almost pure black. There's even a few down here as you're kind of coming by, and light sort of hits them. They sort of curl up into themselves. Some of the plants do, because they probably haven't seen light or they don't prefer light. You still hear the wandering around. Your paladin senses still determine that there is death all around.
Take me out.
So, you're heading back into what seems to be more of a civilized area of the Undercity. And you believe this to be, coincidentally enough, it's also called Wraith Street. Okay? Wraith Street is one of the main... It's sort of like 10 Street upstairs, upstairs, up north, up above. They almost actually run perpendicular to each other, with slight variations, but it runs almost the entire distance. You were on part of it as you were wandering through the forest, the remnants of Old Wraith Street, that goes through the middle of the Wraithwood Forest. You start to see archways and faded out, not super bright lit lanterns. It looks more civilized here. There are buildings, there are houses, there are like apartment type of complex buildings. There are people wandering around in the Undercity. Some of them have the very clear guild insignia and symbols on them showing that they're representatives from someone. There are some that are just normal people or normal entities that just draped in robes and kind of wandering around. And it looks like above, only it's dark and there's not as many bright lit things down here.
Except for my horns.
Except for your horns. You kind of walk through the main part of it, and parallel to it on the other side are a few aqueducts and almost like canals, with these massive archways that used to be the equivalency of like sewers and tunnels, but it was the old cities of Ravnica that was replaced later. Um, there are a few buildings here that actually look like there was a lot of care taken to them and keeping them restored to their original forms. The sidewalks are kind of damp. It almost feels like it rains here a lot. There's a lot of humidity in the air down here. It's like being in a cavern. It's very closed in. There's not a lot of air. You hear things flying about, whereas up above it would be birds or insects. You hear bats and other things that you can't quite identify because it's dark. There is no light. There's no moonlight. There's no sunlight. Just traipses of it that peek through from the grates above. Sort of in the middle of all of this, what you would call as the hub, on a hill, is a pretty large mansion. It stands out. It's super fancy. It looks better constructed and better built than any other thing down here, but it also looks to be one of the oldest structures down here. Just based off of the architecture, you can't quite place it. It has a very Gothic feel to it. There are huge spires that come off of the roof. There's stonework and gargoyles. It almost looks like it's something from the Orzhov in its design, but this is definitely not a basilica. This is not a church. This is not Orzhov structures. It's off in the distance. You see it, but it's not close. It looks to be gated. There seems to be like a black iron gate sort of around it. There is a couple of paths that seem to go up in it. And there are gates on either side. There's not a main front gate. There's 2 gates on either side. You kind of can see lights in the mansion. It's 3 stories high. And it looks like there may even be an attic above that because of the big arched ceilings. Arched roof. Now this is just the observation you can make from far away, but it stands out. It's very visible. You see, like, from some of the grates up above, like, there's just these traces of light that seem to touch across the top of it. As you can tell, maybe clouds above are kind of breaking that light up so it's not continual light. It looks gloomy, but not overbearing, if that makes sense. It doesn't have that spooky mansion haunted feel. It doesn't look like something from Scooby-Doo, but kind of. It doesn't look dilapidated like that. It looks better kept. You don't see any actual movement or activity going on in the mansion, not from where you're at, because it's a good deal away. But you do see, in one of the main windows in the front, you see what you're assuming is like a chandelier, and it's got many lights that are flickering on it. And then you see some lights going on in some of the other ones. It looks like normal, maybe candle lights or fireplaces. The hustle and bustle down here is different than above. People seem to be quieter. They seem to be more willing to keep to themselves. And you all look like outsiders, with the exception of Lizica. With your hood and cloak pulled up, you kind of feel like you blend kind of better with the rest of the people down here. Having a Gorgon in your party seems to raise a lot of suspicions and eyes. People seem to hesitantly kind of walk to the side when you walk by. You kind of like nod at people as you're going by and they don't even acknowledge you. Some of them seem like they wander off to go maybe talk to other people. They seem like those guys are like tattletales.
Do we realize that they're like?
It's very
trying to
obvious.
shun it, so
It's
obvious.
very obvious they're not
Even
trying to
for,
hide
like,
it.
Skriznet,
Well,
they're
Yep.
not the most perceptive person.
Being a
sometimes.
goblin and being shunned by a lot of people, you get it. This is not unfamiliar to you. You know, when you've gone into human areas or areas where humans or Veldican are more prominent, they kind of look down on you like you're lesser. They don't look at him like he's lesser. They look at him like they're afraid of him.
Well, Rocky, I guess we're all about keeping this low profile again.
Yeah, just like we do, you know.
That's us, low profile. Nobody noticing us coming through town. It's swampy down here. I'm gonna have to drill some holes in this top piece because it feels like it needs to be drained.
I'm sweating under the fur here. You can't see it, but holy crap.
Why am I getting stared at?
Well, I
don't
think-
know, maybe the tail.
When you change your appearance, I think you change your smell too, because people avoiding you like you smell.
I think it's because right now, the Golgari swarm are in a civil war with the Golgari Hive, who tends to be primarily Gorgon right now.
So Fibblethip is here as well.
Hey, like, I'm tiny and a giant eye, and I stand out even here. But you really stand out.
So, what do you guys think I should be? I mean, I can be anything within reason.
Be yourself.
That will get me killed.
Would it?
I mean, you died as a snake last time.
That's true.
Fine, we'll have it your way, and I'll snap, and I'll go back to my normal form.
So you're going back into your humanoid changeling form.
Yeah,
You got it.
that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
You could always try on Drow for something.
Now I'm just curious, like, you did this, like, right home. People will wonder probably, like, so why was he a Gorgon? Why would he choose that?
What is this? What is this bird?
Do you keep track of all the fights you get us in?
We're up to 6.
Yeah.
Check it out.
That sounds about
6
right.
Unnecessary fights.
So, you recognize, and you've been in this area of the city before. You've been all along Wraith Street. There are other parts of the Undercity that are less charted, but this is the most traveled. This is the place that is the most well known. There are other hidden parts within the aqueducts and further along, and the secret pathways into the Demir areas, the safe houses, I should say. Even as a member of House Demir, you've never actually seen the Guild Gate. You've never actually been within House Demir. You've been in safe houses. You've been in some of the hideouts. And I would say that none of you have actually been down here before. That's where you're from? My house is right over there.
What was I talking about? An undead market or something like that? What was it?
Yeah, you had to go there at like midnight ish.
Yeah,
I wrote it down.
Yeah, you're talking about the dead market.
The dead market. Yes.
Shh.
But you're the one that said it.
Yeah, I know, but like, it makes them uneasy here because of their currency.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. The currencies down here is what again?
Is it dead?
Well,
is it the
In places that aren't the dead market, it's money. They like money, but the dead have no need for money.
Oh, isn't it souls?
They want that little
essence or
taste
something
of
like
life. They want some of your life essence. And it's whatever you're willing to pay. These are not like the spirits that are indebted to the Orzhov that just won't cross on. These spirits choose to be here. But legend has it that it's a curse. That these particular merchants were just a little too greedy, delving in too many things that they shouldn't get into. Some of them were former adventurers. Some of the treasures that they took supposedly were cursed and put a curse of undeath on them. They only appear in a certain spot within the city, and only at midnight, and only for 1 hour.
Only for 1 minute until midnight's over.
What time is it?
Well, let's see. You guys started your day, and then you took a nap. I'd say it's probably about 4 or 5 o'clock.
In the afternoon? Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't think we need to go to the dead market at all. That's cursed business. Sounds like a terrible idea.
But I'm sure one of us in this group is going to want to go.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like fun to me. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
got to know it.
It's always the dark elf. It's always that guy.
So, I mean, don't know this place any better than above, but what are you guys trying to accomplish here? Where are you trying to get to?
Oh well, I feel like the main purpose was to earn favor of Gerard and just the swarm in general.
Well, you know, he doesn't exactly just take visitors, and I'm
Yeah.
sure tensions are a little, you know.
I think our goal is also to take out the Gorgons,
Yeah.
those bastards
I
that
feel like we
attacked
can-
us.
Well, no offense, but how'd that work out for you the last time?
We did pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like I killed.
Maybe a different approach, maybe a different strategy.
Yeah, but we gotten better. We now learned them. I've never fought a snake person before.
Yeah,
So-
I've only been stabbed by him once.
Yeah, first time. So like we had that first time charm. Now we got it.
Well, I feel like if you're trying to get favor with Gerard, doing something about his snake problem, I would think would earn you favor.
we've already started.
Well, you killed a few of them for sure. I'm sure he's going to be very thrilled about that.
Yeah, if he could at least point us in the direction of where to take out some more of them, I'm ready to get some revenge. I slipped last time, and that's why I didn't do so well. I
He slipped into the
pulled
cage
a-
of the snake.
I pulled a back muscle there. It happens when you get older in age.
You know,
And I'm mad because I used
I
my
hear that.
boom boom ball.
I just
Man, I
I
really
just
wanted to see
didn't
what
do well.
happened with that. That
There
was
really
so
wasn't much
cool.
to it. It was just bad luck.
well, if you're trying to get into the Golgari area, and I'm sure you can confirm, it's not far from this area. You just got to travel through the one tunnel, down the one aqueduct. You stay on that path for a little while, and that's one of the main guild gates for the Golgari.
So are you going with us?
I told you I'm hanging out with you guys for a while.
Sweet, because if one of us happened to turn the stone.
I don't even know that I can do that again. That might have been a one-time only thing.
Yeah, you've done it 3 times. I mean, what's one more?
Well, I also thought I'd been killed a few times, and I just wake up and I'm fine.
So maybe you are powerful, but I think you should just stick with us.
Well, I told you before, I'm the only one of my kind. I've never met another one like me. I'm not even sure where I came from originally. I was wandering around. There was a bunch of flowers in a field, and then there was this bright light. And then I was here. And my life before that, well, it was so long ago, I don't really remember what I used to do. I like to eat. My memory's always a little bit fuzzy. And sometimes I can do things.
I
Like,
saw bright light once too, but it wasn't that pretty. There was no walking off from that bright light.
I have these dreams sometimes. I don't know if they're memories or. Hold on, before I get into a tale. Are we going to the Golgari or where are we going? Because we can walk and talk.
Well, I'm not quite sure. Should we try and kill some more Gorgons first to prove our?
Do you even know where they are?
Exactly.
I
So
don't know.
I think we might have to press forward and try and figure out any leads on these guys. But so far, they've had to jump on us. I think.
Well, if I had to take a guess, knowing what I know from the archives in the Azorius, the Golgari territory is kind of split up into 2 major sections. There is the one that they currently use, where they do all the farming and the people live and the zombie herding, and there's weird stuff that goes on there. All right, they like dead things. But then there are the old things that's under the ground. They're like the old crypts and the old tombs and the old temples. No one's really sure where they came from, but they always referred to them as the Nephilim shrines. There was a lot of weird depictions. One of the Azorius explorers that was down here doing some diplomacy work with some of Gerard's people. He talked about the old temples. He said the term Nephilim talked about the peoples of Ravnica long before the armies were even here. The 10 armies that fought, and long before Niv Mizzet and Lord Rakdos and any other living being, that there were 4 basically all-powerful entities that formed the entire plane of Ravnica. He called them Nephilim. I mean, it's legends, right? They would probably refer to them in some cultures as gods, or I don't know. But there are no gods. The Izzet have proved that. Which is why no one worships anything here. Now, I don't know a lot about the Nephilim. I didn't see it, and I'm only just telling you what it says in there. That there were 4 of them. They were really scary and very, very weird. Maybe I'm a Nephilim.
Maybe.
Well, should we go down to the shrine?
Well, I'm not sure exactly where that even is. You'd have to probably ask someone within the Golgari. I'm sure that they know. From what I understand, that area is considered strictly off limits. Most normal Golgari don't go down in there, because they go in and they never come back. So that's where they assume that the Gorgons live. And the Gorgons kind of do their own thing, and they don't usually come up a lot. Maybe sometimes when they need food or to make a trade, but for the most part, they kind of keep to themselves. They're all still pretty pissed about that revolt that Gerard, killed some of theirs and took over for.
All right, so we basically have a few options. We find the snake people, kill them, gain some kind of leverage / hey, we're big deal. Life is good. We can talk about the temples with them and get into Golgari territory.
Well, maybe let's see if we could find somebody smaller than Gerard to, figure out where these snakes are and, more about this Nephilim stuff.
You don't know anything about this place, even though you're partially Golgari?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Not really.
I didn't figure so.
Do you have any contacts within the Golgari? I mean, you gotta have known some people. I know you don't talk a lot, but you have a neighbor, roommate.
Let's just say it's been a while since I've been down here. By, I don't know, 60 years or something.
Well, shit.
So, who is your person? Like, who do you know there?
As
You kind of said like you knew somebody there. You just haven't talked to them in a while. Who do you know?
Maybe they miss you.
I don't know that I know anybody specific. Just I don't know where it was from.
Wait, you're from the like you were raised there?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you end up with the Demir?
Well, because I didn't stay in the Golgari down here very long. I always felt the urge to, gain knowledge. So
Interesting.
the drive eventually brought me up to the surface and
You had ties. You had family there.
down here. Yeah, I don't know much about him anymore.
Well, I think
Never
that's
kept in touch.
probably where we should start.
Yeah, I guess the drow part probably, or not the drow, the Diverkin.
Oh man, we can have one of those family reunions.
Yeah. What if your family is looking for you?
Yeah, you could be missing.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they'd be happy to see you and be like, you don't call, you don't write.
I don't know a lot about
Knowledge."
Drow. Are they real close? Are they family oriented?
Really don't know.
Interesting.
Apparently
Did you
not.
bump your head or something?
Well, over that many years, it's kind of hard to remember.
How old are you?
I don't know, like 120. I kinda
Jeez.
lost count.
Wow.
You stop counting after you hit 80 or something.
I'll let you know.
So as you're kind of like
Yeah, must be
walking
nuts.
along, and you're not talking really loud, but you are talking. There's a you see someone that they don't look familiar, but you notice a drow, a female drow, an elderly female drow. She's kind of in between two buildings, like almost like an alleyway. She's kind of hunched over. She's wearing what looks to be some sort of a dark gray cloak. It's nothing fancy. It's very basic, very peasant type clothing. It's covered her over all the way, and she's got like a walking stick. She's kind of leaning on. She looks at the elder part of her life. If you didn't know that she was like a drow elf, you would guess her to be maybe in her 80s or 90s in human ages. So she's got the wrinkles, and she looks aged. So if she's full drow, then she's ancient. She's very old.
They can
They-
live
they-
about as long
they
as an
can,
elf
yeah.
They typically just don't live that long because they're.
So as you're kind of walking towards them, she catches your eye because it's another drow, and you see her kind of look at you sort of inquisitively, like she recognizes you.
You don't know what? No one my ass. Who's that?
I don't know.
Well, go talk to him.
As well. Yeah, I guess I'll go over there and
Like, how are you approaching?
well,
Your group is a little intimidating.
yeah. I mean,
Hey, Mama Liz.
I'll
I
go ahead,
sent you out for milk 6 years ago, and you haven't been back.
I'll go ahead and tell the group to wait here, and I'll just go over since it's probably.
Okay. How far away are you guys from him?
I feel like we're gonna sneak up and try and follow him.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like,
Are your
Yeah,
horns still
we'll wait.
glowing?
Probably. Probably.
You are glowing.
Okay. Well, we'll deal with that in a second. So, Lizica, you go up and you casually kind of approach this woman, and she looks at you even more as you approach closer. It's like she's able to see you better, and she has a smile on her face.
Do I recognize this person?
Make a perception check.
So when he walks up, the rest of them are like, I just walk up right at his hip, like he didn't even ask us to. Stay
Are you
back.
attempting to be stealthy
No,
about it?
I'm just walking right
Love
next
it.
to him.
I only got an 8.
An 8. You're not sure where you have ever seen this person before in your life.
Probably like 5 feet behind. Probably not trying to hide. I just kept going too.
Yeah, Skriz
I just
is
like
like
turn
that.
around. I'm like, okay.
Skriz got
Just
that
keep
goofy
going.
look. He's like,
I'll just give you a thumbs up.
She as you approach, she kind of looks you up and down. I'm assuming you didn't say much at first. You look just like Laura Loth.
Laura.
I'm not sure or recognize that.
You have her eyes.
Oh. How do you know that person? This person.
She was my daughter.
Oh.
Who are you?
My name's Lizica.
Are you from around here?
Yeah, a while ago. It's been a while since I've been down here.
Who was your mother, dearie?
I don't know. Not by name.
Do you have a family name, a last name, a surname?
Not time to hold back.
I actually never thought about that.
That's fair. You definitely have her eyes.
Do you know where she is now?
She just said
She
she's
gets
dead.
kind of
She's dead.
she gets sort of quiet, and almost like a sadness goes over her.
She is elsewhere.
It's Skriz like, I think she's dead.
It's sensitive. Oh, okay.
What does that word mean?
What was your?
Uh,
Oh yeah, the
Lizana. Is that what you
who?
Laura.
Laura Loth.
Laura. I was pretty not close.
I like how I still say dry, but it doesn't exist here. We do dark oak.
She just, as you're kind of like taking all this in, she's just looking at you with, like a grandmother would look at a grandchild, or a mother would look at a son. Like
Do we like see this look of
it,
like
it's
grandmotherly?
it's very apparent.
Do you have any cookies?
Cookies?
Sweets?
No. You're a strange one. I like your crown.
It was made into a helmet.
Yeah.
It's still got like the little crown
Yeah,
across
yeah.
the top.
Yes.
Thank you. I
That's-
made it myself.
That's very excellent craftsmanship. And are these your friends?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fascinating.
Can I hug you, Grandma?
Probably better not to touch. We just met and all.
It's
You know,
true.
I'm not offended. That's not the first time I've heard that.
So what brings you into the Undercity?
Well, I'm not sure how much the Undercities felt the wakes of what's happened above, but you know,
There has been turmoil, yes.
we're here to try and get some favor with Gerard, and also take out some of these Gorgons on the way.
Gerard.
Mm-hmm.
She seems kind of lost in her thoughts for a second.
Perhaps we should go elsewhere and talk.
All right.
She gonna make us cookies. I know it. Or she's
Your friends are welcome to come.
Sure.
Yeah, I wasn't waiting for an invitation.
So you follow this elderly woman, and she starts kind of rambling on about things that don't really make sense. You can't really hear all of it because she's kind of whispering. You kind of get the impression that she doesn't spend a lot of time talking to other people and interacting with other people. She talks about recipes and cooking, and you pick up things about like some of her hobbies and that she likes to write and she reads, and she apparently has a cat. You did pick up on the fact that she definitely has a cat.
Tell her about your fox.
I do have a fox. Yeah.
So you follow her down a couple of the alleys, and you end up in what looks to be, it's kind of like several domiciles on top of each other. They all kind of look like they were slapped together with mud and old vines and things. So it looks dilapidated, but not like it decayed over time. It just looks like it was built from what they had laying around. You see part of the structure looks like it is the remnants of an actual stone building, and they fixed it with what they had laying around down here in the city. This one's mine, and she points to one on the end. And she goes and she pulls out this big, like, brass-looking key ring, and all of these keys on it. Several different keys. They're small keys, large keys. She pulls out a larger, like, it looks a copperish sort of key, and she puts it into the lock, and she turns it, and it doesn't work. So then she's flipping through her keys, and she pulls out another one, and she puts it in there, and it turns, but it doesn't turn all the way. And she's trying to fiddle the handle, and it's like not working. And she goes, "That must just not be the right one." So after about a couple minutes of her, she finally gets it on like the 6th key try, and she opens up the door and welcomes you in.
All right.
Her house is basically a 1-room area. The kitchen, living room, office area, all that's in one space. She has a small desk over in the one. This is more of a round-shaped room. So near the fireplace, it's just a small little hearth. It's not large. There's nothing fancy about it. It's surprisingly warm in here and much drier than the air that was outside. The bed that she has is more like a cot, almost like a hammock. It's all these bundles of old vines and canvas kind of strapped together. The pillows, you're not sure what is in the pillows. They look kind of grimy a little bit. And sure enough, you see this cat, this white cat with like a black chest, wandering, kind of like circling around, seemingly excited that his master has returned. She pulls back her hood, and you see she's got this very, very white hair, and it's kind of up in a bun. And she looks even more old now that she pulls this hood off. Her ears are long and sort of kind of droopy, even for elf ears. And you see the wrinkles and stuff along the sides of them, all along her neck. She's thin. She's not like a heavy-set elf. She's probably more thin than other drow elves that you've seen. Her clothes, again, they're very basic, very monocolored, grays and whites. It's all made out of canvas. She's not any kind of explorer or adventurer, you can tell. So she pulls up a chair, and she's looking around like, well, I don't really get this many visitors normally, so you can stand or sit on the floor.
Go ahead, sit on the floor.
Probably just lean against a wall. Do we notice like any family resemblance between her and Liz?
With better light, you kind of see it a little bit in like the cheekbone area. Their eyes are similar, but they're not the same. I would say the shape of them are similar, but they definitely have some differences to them.
I feel like internally he wants this to be like a family relative, but like he's also skeptical about it because it doesn't. I guess it's been a long time. So
Has your name always been what it is?
as long as I can remember,
And you said your name was.
Lizica.
And you have no surname.
No.
Well, how long have you known this to be your name?
I think since the Golgari. I mean, it has been a long time.
And what of your father?
All I know, he's a shaman or magic wielder of some sorts down here. I don't exactly remember what he did.
Do you know his name?
Started with an L.
Is this a family thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Lictus.
Lictus.
Senior.
Yes. That would be actually funny.
She kind of goes into her desk and she pulls out it looks to be like a diary or a journal of some kind. And she starts flipping through it, and you see that as she's flipping through the pages, there's a lot of hand-drawn portraits, images, things that she's either seen throughout the world, buildings, just things that she was drawing. There are words in there. And it does strike you as some type of a journal. She flips through about maybe a third of the way through the book, and she comes across what looks to be a portrait of some kind, of hand-drawn, inked-out portrait. And she turns around and shows it to you. And in the portrait, you see a small, it's not in color, but you're assuming a small drow elf child, male, maybe right around the ages of 9 or 10, still very young. You see a very, very, very beautiful drow elf female, probably you would know her to be maybe in her 50s or 60s in elvish, but to people who are not elves, you would think she's probably in her 30s. Absolutely just flawless cheekbones. You're not really even into drow, and you're like, that's a pretty lady, you know? Long hair, probably down to around her waist. She looked to be dressed in nicer clothes than this older woman is. And then beside her looks to be you tell almost immediately, it's similar to the style of the shamanistic wear of the Swarm Lord you saw, with the armor and things looking as though it was made from what was around. The collar has that same sort of flare out on it, and the like the holes kind of through it, carrying a very similar type of stick. This male has almost like a pirate type mustache. It's very big and it flares out on the sides with the curls. He's got a very long pointy goatee. He has these eyebrows that kind of point down, and he just looks angry. He looks very stern and very angry. And in the picture, it looks like he's kind of looking down at you with disappointment. Which is funny because it was drawn, not a photograph. Behind you is what looks to be some sort of a house or a structure of some kind. It's not in a lot of detail. You recognize the outside of it is probably something that the Golgari would have built for other members of the Golgari. And it's got a date on it. And the date is roughly from 100 years ago.
Mm. So I think at this point, I'm starting to realize I think this might be my relative. Specifically, because I feel like that's a mustache you don't forget if you've ever seen that in your you know,
Is this your father?
I think that might be my father.
Do we all see the picture?
Yeah. You guys kind of see the resemblance. Like, if Lizica grew the mustache and goatee, they would be almost brothers, minus the eyes. The eyes are very similar to the woman in the picture, but his facial structure is almost identical to the man.
Looks like your dad hated you.
You know, this picture, specifically that look, did remind me. I think there was another reason I left.
You couldn't grow a mustache to keep the family heirloom going?
No. I think it's because, at a certain point, most drow get, most elves, no, mustache. They get, they get magical abilities. They're just kind of in the heritage, and I wasn't very strong with that. And I feel like he kind of resented me a little bit at that point, and I left, and I went out to seek more knowledge to, and I eventually stumbled upon the arts of wizardry.
So what sorts of abilities or magic were you supposed to have?
I don't know, just things that's just more like natural magic. Like, I mean, I kind of do it now, like where I get the dancing lights I can cast and fairy fire, those types of spells.
Like the power of friendship. It's pretty magical.
You motherfucker.
No, not that one.
Your timing is so great. I love it.
I only talk when I need to talk.
Yeah.
So the man in the
Are you
picture
attached to
here.
this cat? Because it looks pretty tasty.
Oh, no, that is my friend. I've been friends with him for a long time.
Like how long? It's a cat. They live like 8 to 9 years tops. Unless
Well,
they're in
that
goblin
cat,
territory.
that cat is probably 500 years old.
Oh, he probably stringy. Never mind. I'm not hungry no more.
It's pretty impressive age for a cat.
Man, cleaning out a litter box for
The-
500 years. would
The
be more.
Golgari have ways of extending the life of things.
True.
Yeah.
The man in the picture, his name was Lesenar.
Well,
He is still alive. He is a much higher ranking member of the Golgari now.
Do you know where we could find him?
what was that?
That-
Lesenar.
Well, she's kind of.
And if you are related, then I can tell you that your last name is Vrinn. Vrinn.
Vrinn.
Vrinn.
Cat to look.
Well, she's kind of monologuing. After she says the comment about the cat, I'm just going to kind of turn and just act like I'm not just kind of looking around. Now summon Scoff Dog,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna swing at her. Calm down.
Cat instead.
You're about to kill this dude's grandma?
No.
He just met her.
What the hell?
And just kind of whisper, close.
It immediately points at the cat.
It's a one-undead cat.
You asked where, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant.
It immediately
I
pointed at the cat.
couldn't remember if it was close or where.
No, it would respond to you.
Yeah, respond. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and I'll unsummon it from my hands and turn back around.
It is a family thing. L names. My name is Lorinda.
Sounds hot.
I have a last name now.
Your last name?
I have one, yep.
It's Jason.
Jenkins.
Secrets.
It's Lictus.
His dad's name is Leroy.
It's Lictus.
Yeah, checks
It's
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
it's Vrinn.
Ren?
Vrinn.
For anyone curious, that's an actual drow name. I looked it up. I got a whole list of them. Like, that's a good one. We'll go with that one. Also, check to make sure that they weren't any important figure in Dungeons and Dragons lore.
My
They are
last
not.
name is Gerard.
Oh shit.
My middle name is Nimbus.
Ah, yes. It checks out. And your daddy was Sadek.
Yes.
You come from the house Nephilim.
Oops.
Your great granddaddy's name was Ravnica.
Yeah. There we go.
Your uncle is Raktos.
Yeah. Related to every good.
I'm not sure, son, but I think that we might be related.
I think it's a high possibility.
Your father assumes you dead the last time I spoke to him.
Really?
Is that a good thing?
I'm not sure.
What kind of person is his father?
He's stern, strict. I would say unemotional, like most male drow.
What does he do for a living?
He is a shaman within the Golgari, constantly coming up with new ideas of preserving life and providing sustenance for everyone.
Did his father seem upset when he thought Liz is dead? Or not still that stern?
I
no
would
show?
say as upset as a drow would be. But I will say he never remarried, and he never had any more children. Just you and your sister.
I have a sister. Didn't know I had a sister.
What's his sister do?
We're not sure.
Huh. Is that good or bad?
I would say that it is unknown. Your family history is complicated.
Sounds like most family histories.
Daddy issues. You can't take another daddy issues. That's why I've said that parents. Wait.
Yeah, that's true.
Make fun of me.
That's what you get.
I mean, if your parents were alive, it wouldn't hurt.
Someone's
So that just came out of left field.
Your sister's name was Lithrana.
You just say an L name, you have a good chance that he's probably related to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you need spellings on those,
Yes.
Now I'm just guessing.
Lithrana is spelled Lythrana. Sister.
Yep.
Lorinda is spelled Larynda.
This is the grandma.
I
Oh, so close.
I put L-O-E-N-D-A.
I had the R-I instead of the Y.
Lesonar is Lesonar.
That's your daddy.
Yeah, not for one minute. Yep, me too.
And Loraloth is Lari apostrophe Loth.
Say law.
Loraloth.
That's the mom.
I've been doing
Yep.
maths. I actually took notes.
And that is the mom.
And Lorinda is the grandma.
Lorinda is the granny.
Family history.
And we heard that the mom is deceased.
We
Unknown.
don't.
Unknown.
She said she was elsewhere.
I thought she said she was no longer around.
That's what you said. You said
She's the-
dead.
Yeah, that's how you perceived it.
What if we killed his mom out in the woods? Said she was a shaman too.
Plot twist? No, I think they would.
I would feel bad.
Would you guys feel bad? Like he just found out about his mom and you guys just killed her last
You
second?
helped. The only thing I know
He's
about-
like, you helped. You hit her too.
The only other thing I remember is she was blind.
She had both eyes.
Yeah. So like his mom, could she see?
The last time I recall, yes.
When
When was the last time you saw her?
It's been a while.
Okay, she could have been blind by now. Still, they're 50-50 shot would killed your mom out in the woods.
What force? Not really force, but what made his mother go away?
We'll just say it was a disagreement.
Between?
Her and her husband.
So is the sister with the mom? Or did she go her separate way?
She went with the mother.
sister.
Just like I have to like questions.
His sister was actually what are they called? Cool.
What
Dang
are you
it.
talking about?
Horrible
There
time
was
for
kids buried underneath the
crawl.
ground.
Oh, that's true. It's the crawl.
Lithrana was very young when this
Actually,
fallout happened. And she wasn't taken against her will, but I feel that she was much too young to make that decision.
So this is my last question, and I'm just curious. Like this fallout, did it happen like any time after their son might have disappeared?
I think that it had part to do with it.
You split a family up.
Hey, I didn't split any family apart. I split my family apart.
Just any family.
Your father was disappointed, to say the least, that you didn't want to follow in his footsteps. You didn't seem at home with the Golgari. You always had bigger aspirations. But there was a part of you that frightened even him.
Really?
You had this fascination with
Fireballs.
Higher.
with the death side of what we do down here. You seemed to embrace it. You felt that it was just a natural part of things. You talked about it extensively.
I do kind of remember that a little bit.
Well, we really appreciate all this information. You have a grand. This has been a wild day. I went down. He's got a grandma, sister, dad, whatever. We got a 500-year-old cat.
Yep.
We got 2 missions. You may be kind of like royalty around here.
I don't know.
Now, no, it's okay. For our troubles, we traveled a long way. You wouldn't by chance have any like magical items that you
We
would?
don't have much need for magical items.
Yeah, maybe collections, heirlooms.
Mm,
No heirlooms?
no.
Oh, okay. I tried.
Well, Alvin's trying to steal from my grandmother.
I'm not gonna steal from your grandma. What if she had a cool magical heirloom? She's like, here you go.
Yeah, this.
And then I just got it for this.
I have given up a lot of my trinkets. I don't need them much now in the latter part of my life. I will probably die soon.
Oh boy.
It's just time.
Does that scare you? Or are you ready?
I've lived a long time.
Does anything scare you? Is there any like last wishes you have? Like,
I feel like I've lived a long life. I would have liked to see my daughter one more time.
we're gonna make that happen.
Oh, okay.
What does she look like? Kind of do like the whole detective pen and pad. What do you last recall her looking like?
She points at the portrait that she showed you.
Do you know of any places that sell anything that can help against petrification? Any shops or anything?
I think the best weapon, from what I know of the Gorgon, and I've been around a long time, is don't look at them.
That's what I said.
That's easier said than done, though. Sometimes you got to look where you're shooting.
I would say figure out a way to fight in darkness.
Mm.
But you are now aware of what they do. Easier to combat, yes?
In a way, yeah, sure.
This is your first encounter with gorgons?
First and a half, we were stabbed while we were sleeping,
Oh my.
and then they ran away because they knew we'd have murked them.
Do you have something that causes like a darkness spell or a darkness potion or?
Some drow
Yeah,
can do it naturally.
Do you?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you did. You said something about fairy fire. I didn't know if you had darkness spell also.
Yep.
So,
I guess as one would say,
Oh,
I was a
never mind.
late bloomer.
say bloomers.
You have specific gorgons you're looking for?
Yeah, one of them's got a stab mark. It's about as far as I can tell.
As far as we know, we don't know any.
What about all of them?
Well, there are many from what I know, but taking out their leadership would be effective, maybe?
Do you know where the leadership is?
Underground.
Do you have a general direction underground?
Well, everyone within the Golgari knows where they're probably at.
Do we? I don't remember.
I feel like if you just told us, we would have to ask
I can't give you their address. It doesn't really work like
you can
that.
point us to the street or the road or like.
It's in Golgari territory. You're not in Golgari territory.
Oh, I thought we were.
You're in the Undercity, which is not Golgari territory. Golgari live here, but this is not their territory. Much like above, lots of different people live and work in the same areas. But the guild areas are a sacred place for each guild.
Can't remember. Did we hear of rumor that one of the Sister Stone Deaths were still alive?
Yes.
Okay. So okay, yeah.
You've heard rumor that at least one of them was still alive. There were 3 originally.
So I'm assuming that's our snake.
Yeah, probably. How do you feel about going and having a little family reunion with your father? Maybe he could help us out.
It's worth a shot. I don't know how he'll react, but
We'll just. Can you like use some of that fancy magic and fancy magic a mustache on? That might help. It sounds like that might be the problem.
It will be tricky to get into Golgari territory without insignia. Do you have? None of you are members, no?
You don't have one either? I thought you had like a fake one.
doesn't work like that, unfortunately.
Mm.
It's more for show.
All we
for
gotta do is
magic.
kill somebody that has one.
That seems like awfully extreme. I'm offering to take you.
Don't.
Or that out.
Don't kill her.
So can we get some healing potions down here or something for?
There are shops that sell these things, yes. Yes.
What about poison?
It's much easier to find poison under the city than it is above the city. In fact, it's forbidden up there, but it's not forbidden down here.
Oh, I love it down here. Listen,
You know, some of your kind do wander around here. Goblins like the dark.
I like it down here so far. 500-year-old kitties. I said kitties. Poison. I don't like the snake infestation.
Well, that's a new problem.
So, other than that, we're on the right track so far. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I don't know if I'm looking forward to midnight, but okay.
So Fibblethip kind of like hops up on the desk and he's over by the cat, like he's trying to pet the cat, and then he tries to like lick its head.
It doesn't taste very good.
That's what I thought. 500 years old, probably probably moldy.
Is this an eating animal? Is this like one we eat?
No. I already asked.
No. So, like, all this is really fascinating. But do you really think that this old bird is your granny?
I think it's highly possible with all the things that we've learned.
I mean, if she's not, she knows a hell of a lot about him, and we're just gonna go on that.
So, hey, granny lady, I feel like maybe someone didn't ask you directly enough, but what exactly happened to his mom? You say she's elsewhere. Like, where did she go? Why did she go there? What was the fight about? I want details.
I thought I asked that.
I feel like I did too.
I feel like you should probably talk to his father. I don't feel that it's my place
So
to.
looking from that picture, he looks like a pleasant fellow. I bet he's as good as Lizica is about sharing secrets.
Let's hope it's not a family trait.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know
And
that
you wouldn't
guy.
if you could.
Well, ma'am, if you're offering to take us into Bulgari territory, we would sure appreciate it.
Well, of course. I think you might be my grandson. And you're his friends.
You say old man?
I think I said, well, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I did not catch all of your names. Lizica, I caught, and you are
Winsel Elvin.
oh, Elvin
No,
Winsel.
no,
Winsel Elvin.
Yeah.
There's a comma in between those two.
Got it.
names.
And you,
One name.
tall fellow.
Rocky.
Okay,
Mr. Brindlehyde to
Mr.
some.
Mr. Brindlehyde,
Yeah, that'll work.
and you, little one,
I am King Skriznet.
King
son of
Skriznet.
Skraznet. Yes.
Skraznet.
Yes.
I don't know him personally, but I have heard of Skraznet. Well, that would mean she knew him personally. She does not know him. I read one of his books. It's on my shelf over there, and she kind of hobbles over and brings out a book. It looks kind of like a textbook, but it's a bunch of like formulaic expressions and theories about fusing electricity and thermal energies. It's very advanced. Like you're looking at it like, oh, this makes sense, but they're kind of like, no.
So I was
And sure enough, it was written by your dad.
interested in knowledge in my family.
He's a brilliant man.
That he is. Have you seen any goblins that might look like him? Like maybe of the is it type down in here?
I would say no other is it. Other goblins sometimes from the surface wander around down here.
Okay. Looking for a special goblin. Give him some hugs.
Hugs.
Yes, goblin hugs.
Oh, I think that's not what you mean.
Shocking.
How do you know what I'm talking about?
I've been around a long time.
It's gonna be his last hug he ever gets.
So,
Yeah,
if you are
shocking.
prepared, or do you need to go to a market, or before we head into Golgari
If
territory?
it's on the way,
Yeah, I'd say it's on the way. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I'd like to stop. I mean, I don't need healing potions. My friend over there, Winsel. Rolls his eyes when he says it.
Yeah. I can feel
Okay.
that.
Well, let's go on a journey then. This will be interesting. So she lets you all exit. She goes through the whole deal again with the keys, trying to lock the door, and it goes on for about 2 or 3 minutes until she figures it out again and locks it. As you're walking around now, it seems like people take notice of you, but in a different sort of way, almost in an accepting way, as you're kind of walking around with one of their own down here now.
And not
Yes.
a snake. That's
And
most
not a
familiar.
gorgon. You're walking around, you see some of the shops down here, and they're similar as like their little tents and stuff are set up, and their little awnings, just like up above. But it's various different things. There's mushroom vendors down here. There are fish vendors down here, but they're not fish like the fish you're used to seeing up above. These look mutated. They look like there are weird
But
parts
still
to
like
them.
a fish market.
But like a fish market, like you see what looks to be like a catfish, but it's got these tentacles that kind of come off of its sides instead of flippers and fins. Some of the fish have like spines and things coming off them that they shouldn't have. Some of them have teeth, like sharp, almost like piranha type teeth, but no lips. It's just teeth in the front. Some people are selling what looks to be pieces of crawl, some of their wings, some of their like carapaces. And you do see one shop that kind of stands out, and it's almost like she's taking a beeline to take you right there. It has like a black awning over the top. It's got a couple holes in it. It looks almost moth-eaten. And he's got his wooden standout, and it's coincidentally enough, it's another drow, but it looks to be a much younger drow, actually significantly younger than Lizica. He's dressed in black leather. It looks more like black leather fancy clothes, almost like a suit, not armor.
but you kind of look at it and see that it was designed to look fancy. It's very functional as armor. As someone who's seen military grade things, you see the way that it's interwoven and laced together. This could take a blow or two from weapons. He has a long shiny rapiers on his side. He has a dagger on the other side, and he's wearing a black hooded cape, but the hood's pulled back and his hair is in a long ponytail. He kind of gives you a wicked smile as you walk by, like, hello, come in. Are you in the market for new things today? I have many things. You look like you're from out of town and that you need things, and I have things.
So, go ahead. Were you gonna buy something?
Maybe.
Maybe.
We got this piece of shit sword to sell.
Yeah, it's
nothing.
true.
I mean, it's not a
You
piece
know what?
of
You go first. You go first and sell the sword.
Do you have a thing? Someone's got a thing that makes this worth more?
Do, but it's not something you want to do in the store.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
We're thinking about it.
I do also. I got the disc.
Yeah, exactly. So
What? Just put it like behind you.
Well, it's like sheathed on my back.
So you're wanting to sell that sword?
Well, it doesn't hit
Do you
nothing.
really want to sell that sword? Because I don't think he can afford to buy that sword.
Well,
That's
I mean,
what
hope
I'm
he,
saying.
see,
It's a
I mean,
beautiful sword.
that's nice leather armor he's got on there.
I
He's
assume
got
that
some money.
you are
Can't afford it.
trying to deceive me.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna cast the sword value on.
Okay, that's fine.
Uh,
Does that require verbal components?
I think guidance.
ooh, nice.
Add a D4 help.
Motherfucker.
Why would add stuff? That is the only thing. That's the only thing.
Hey, I love my iPhone.
That thing was
that
solid.
like my favorite. iPhone.
Solid as a rock.
I miss like
only
my
requires-
addiction for mobile
requires
games
verbal.
on like
No,
an
is
iPod
that-
Touch.
Technically,
Like playing
it's
fucking
another
paper
cast.
Yeah.
Paper toss for like
Doodle,
hours.
doodle jump.
Doodle jump. What was the one with the
Temple
bird where it
Run.
like had the hills?
Oh, Flappy Bird.
No.
Floppy Bird.
Angry Birds?
No, it had the hills like you would fly up in the air and then you press down on the screen and like you would try to like
I
get
don't
on
remember
another
what it's
hill.
called.
like-
I don't remember that.
I don't know what it's called though.
Here we go.
Yeah, the sword value is just verbal.
Okay, I would say that you'll have to do a stealth since you don't want to say it out loud where you can hear it.
Since we're trying to talk this up, can we like, I don't know, give advantage or something? Since we're all like,
I would say,
We're the
yeah,
ones,
I'd
right?
say that you're
Yeah.
causing enough of a
We don't-
distraction.
yeah, let's go
I'm
with
going to use it
that.
against his perception, so we'll see if he
And you have
notices it.
guidance.
Yeah.
So I would say you have stealth, but guidance also requires a verbal and semonic component. That means you have to make a hand gesture and say something.
All right, distort
Oh.
value.
Yeah, that's
So it says, do you need to squeeze a few more gold? You cast a spell on an object no more than one foot, doubling its perceived value by adding illusionary flourish. Anyone examining the object can ascertain its true value with successful intelligent check against their spell.
But that hand gesture could be as simple as, "Hey, let's talk about this sword."
Exactly.
You know, you just have to be smooth about it.
So, well, I was like, I'll get it for you, Rocky.
Yeah.
And
Thank
so
you.
I go back there and grab the sword, and while I'm back there, I'll be like, God, I'd hate to lose this beautiful.
How much does it increase the value by? Or it doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
Okay.
You say as much as double?
Yeah.
Is that what you
It's just
said?
as much as double.
double.
Okay.
So it's just
So I bring the
Up to
sword back, and while
interpretation.
I'm doing that, I do the little distort value on it.
Okay.
So
So make your stealth check. You have advantage. I've already rolled his perception roll. We'll see what happens. Because he's a vendor, so
Great.
you have guidance.
You got advantage.
Plus a D4.
Mm-hmm.
Is that with advantage?
I get advantage.
Yeah, they caused a distraction.
Distract you. Maybe a new dice. See if he's got.
Should roll with it.
15.
You get to. Oh, yeah.
15. Okay.
Not too bad.
Well, we'll see how it worked out.
And if
Yeah.
he doesn't believe, I punch him in the face.
Quick run!
Bring the sword. I'm like, look at this beautiful sword.
He pulls out like a glass eyepiece and he's putting it in his eyes, looking, and you can actually see it. He says some sort of a password or phrase, and it sort of illuminates at the end. It's like he's identifying it to see what it is.
What word did he say?
It was in Elvish. Do you speak Elvish?
I do.
What did he say?
I don't know. What did he say?
Show.
Show.
Mhm.
He said show.
Well, you don't know that. He knows
I
that.
know that. I'm not gonna say that out loud.
You guys can
Oh,
discuss
guys,
this
you
later.
said Show.
Didn't I give one of you guys some goggles of? No, that was never mind. It's a
No,
different game. I play way too many Dungeons and
curious.
Dragons
So-
games.
You're doing the thing.
He's looking at it to identify what it does,
What it does.
not its value. He's just looking at it to determine what it does.
Okay.
Mm.
I didn't know if you were doing it to see if where I put the distort value.
That's
I don't think that it shows up like that. It only shows you what the weapon itself actually does.
That's if he has suspicions. Then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and you're not sure if he has any suspicions because
Yeah.
I rolled a thing, and we're just gonna find out.
So here's what the
So, I know I gave it to you. What kind of weapon is this?
It is the 9 lives stealer
Ah,
thing.
That's the one like
Here.
if you kill a thing.
Yes.
Okay,
and it has
cool.
Like 7.
This is an exceptional blade. I have one myself.
Really?
And he pulls out his rapier. I wouldn't mind having a pair.
Hey, that's like an extra amount of
It is 2 out of 2.
exactly. It's
Yeah,
like,
a pair does seem better, and I am quite the duelist in my off time.
That's like 18 lives right there.
that's quite the steal right there. If you ask me.
This guy is
Get it?
fireballs.
You steal their life.
I humbly ask, how much would you want to part with this weapon for? We will negotiate.
Would we get it for like 18,000
Yeah,
gold?
18,000 gold? I did not charge you 18,000 gold.
I don't even remember how much it was.
No,
We
it
didn't
was-
charge for anything. We found it.
It
On
was-
the
Yeah, we found it on what's his name, right?
well, what color's the weapon?
Silver.
So,
Not like the color.
I think it's.
What's the like rarity?
I think it's purple.
I think it's purple.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the
9
shopkeep was.
Yeah, it's
Wasn't it like
very rare.
12 to 1,500 gold?
I think it was 5,000 is what we would buy it for.
Okay.
What would we buy it for? Yeah, that's
All right.
different.
I'll throw you an offer. Just spitballing here.
Before we do this, does anyone want this sword? I'm dog
Oh
shit
no,
with
we've
it.
all decided.
Okay.
Well, Scofflog's my only weapon, and that's Daddy.
You know, I feel like not being a wizard anymore,
Now,
so I'm just gonna use a rapier,
Are
but
you-
not change my class.
are you gonna use this weapon for personal?
This is a personal
You
for
don't
me. I'm not going to resell this. I'd like to get a good deal, but it's not every day that you get such an exceptional weapon passed through here.
We'll start 5,200.
5,200.
Yeah.
If I would sell this blade myself, I would only charge about 5,000.
But you're not gonna sell it.
No, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
And I already have one.
You said the set is priceless. I mean, one is good too.
Is better.
Since it is for personal use and I'm not intending to resell it, someone's going to have to take it from my cold, dead hands. 4,000 gold.
Ooh, see. All right,
I mean,
hold up, boys.
we gotta eat, right? I mean,
No, I can't even fucking buy a fish down here for that.
yeah.
All right.
Now, you know as well as I do, no other vendor is going to give you that much money for it.
No other vendor's also gonna have 2 of them.
True.
One on each.
I
hip.
could always just go kill the vendor you sell it to, and then I would have to.
Yeah, but then you'd have one less
And you're going to
charge.
jail.
Silver.
Yeah.
Not down.
You guys are not from around here, are you?
It's like, not down here, you ain't.
So let me ask, what do you have potions wise? Maybe we could do like a little bit of bartering with the price. And
We get some potions in and out. We're
So-
more like a pawn shop, as
So-
in people trade us things, we trade them other
has
things.
anybody trade you in like potion, maybe some poison, maybe a couple healing potions?
I know it's not illegal down here, but we don't go advertising that we have
Well,
poisons.
if you can't, I didn't mean to say that out loud.
And
You have poison.
yes, we do.
So, if you have anything like what if I wanted to view my weapon with like what,
What kind of poison are you trying to get?
like something to put on my weapon, would it?
Are you intending it to only inflict a status condition of poisoning, or to inflict damage, or to inflict damage and poisoning condition, or to kill?
Purple worm.
Yes.
Yes, on all of them. Do you
There are also poisons that can put things to sleep.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be pretty cool.
I would maybe one of the sleep.
Well, it would be enough for one dose. You could put it on one weapon, it would probably last an hour or so.
Okay. So if you've got the sleep, like maybe one of each. I don't know.
Okay. So, just to inflict the status condition of poison, a vial of that down here,
Yes.
a little bit more common, 100 gold.
Okay.
If you want to deal just damage, 500 gold.
Okay. I'm listening.
Damage and condition effect, 700 gold.
Okay.
Potential for death, 20,000 gold.
Okay, we just put that one to the side.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
Sleep,
Rich.
20
lives.
one dose, 850 gold.
Okay. So here's what I got. We'll run this by you. $2,700, 2,700 gold, and all 4 potions.
For the sword.
Yes.
That's just poisons. You want nothing else.
What else do you got? I mean, we're feeling it out here.
Well, the way, like, from adding that up, that's, like 2,100 gold
He doesn't
in
have to
the
be good
poisons. I'm not saying this where he hears it. I'm saying amongst us. That's,
We might be able to get some healing potions.
600, 1,300.
Well, it says this is pawn shop,
and
and
about, yeah.
he could have some other good magical items in here
That's
too.
what I'm saying. Let's see
Yeah.
what all he's got
So,
before we make a deal.
Yeah.
Shopping episode.
Shopping episode.
I suppose it would depend on what it is that you're looking for. I told you, I have things.
So what do we got?
So what there
What do we
is
have
there
right
are
now?
there any things that you're looking to get rid of? Maybe they've been on the shelf too long.
We get lots of things in. We don't get many surface folk here, but the occasional thing does show up. Are you looking for weapons, armor, jewelry?
Feel like I'm looking for something to make me a little more resilient, maybe.
You look like a pretty stout fellow.
Well, I'd take a lot of blows in battle.
Something giving me more.
I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know how good your guys' technology is down here. You guys are gonna love this one. Do you have any like eyeglassware that would block petrification?
Give him the sunglasses, baby.
Goggles with this petrification immunity. Petrification.
I would say no.
Could you make some?
Planning on fighting any Gorgons?
No, just asking.
It's for a friend.
Yeah, for
Got
fun.
it. Cockatrices and basilisks only.
Yeah. the legal
Petrification. It's a bitch, am I right?
stuff. Yeah, well.
It's a hard life for us.
I know a few tactics against Gorgons.
Would you be willing to throw those in for some just normal chit chatter?
Depends on how much you're willing to spend today.
Motherfuckers.
Well, what do you have that could make me more resilient?
He's not right here.
One of a kind. He might be a Nephilim.
He might
Nibble
be
Dib's like,
a Nephilim.
Yeah.
Let's do it so well.
Quick cast to start value on Pipple.
Well, unless you're looking to get a shield or...
Your sword is one-handed, or
Well,
if it's like
you
it's
could use
versatile?
it one-handed, but I use it two-handed.
I mean, if it's a good enough shield, it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my random tables right now.
So long.
We're on episode 9 now of Lost.
I mean, there is a shield that makes it so you can like have the shield, but it like floats magically. So like you don't have to like you can still yeah.
We need like a long
I don't know what that's called
I would say
like covers your whole
or what it's
cloaks of protection. Those are... I have a few of those.
What did those do?
The other one.
They had +1 to AC and all saving throws.
All saving throws. That one's pretty nice.
Okay. I like that. What does that run us in this blade?
To sell it, I would sell those for 1,000 gold each.
Okay.
You got your trucks,
Oh yeah, we got it a bit cheaper. Yeah,
but this is the Undercity. You pay a little more.
I think you bartered too.
we bartered. Yeah, and it was another pawn shop, so I mean everybody's views on magic items are different. So
What else does anyone need?
I mean, I would think the potions are good. If
Yep.
we can get some potions, maybe a cape for you, and possibly
A little information.
a little information. That's good. Healing, I'm gonna die regardless. You can,
So his potion stock, he kind of goes and he pulls out this it's like a chest, it doesn't have a lid on it. It's like a box, I guess. And you see various different types of healing potions. You can tell that they're healing potions. He has 2 regular healing potions, 2 greater healing potions, 2 superior healing potions, and 2 supreme healing potions. He has 2 basically of every type of healing potion.
Shit.
yeah, I mean unless there's something I can enhance the wizard powers, I mean we could always sell for that, and I can give him a cloak of protection. It just depends on what he has.
Ask him.
I would say for the cloak, I'm seeing if he has any other protection based things. Armor +1. He has a set of it's plate +1.
Does he have anything
Okay.
wizardly? Because we were thinking about potentially if he does getting something like that, and I can just give Rocky my cloak,
Okay.
like maybe a staff or I don't know, a ring.
Are you looking for more like armor or weapon?
more weaponish?
So like a rod, a wand, or a staff.
I mean any of those three probably.
All right. Okay. Yeah, he has 1 staff.
Staff of wizard.
Staff of swarming insects.
Swarming insect.
It's got 10 charges. It regains 1d6 plus 4 charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, you have to roll a d20 on a 1. It consumes itself and is destroyed. While holding the staff, you can use an action to expend some of its charges to cast spells from it. You can cast Giant Insect, which costs 4 charges, or Insect Plague, which costs 5 charges. It also has an ability called Insect Cloud. While holding the staff, you can use an action and expend one of your charges to cause a swarm of harmless flying insects to spread out in a 30-foot radius from you. The insects remain for 10 minutes, making the area heavily obscured for creatures other than you. The swarm moves in with you, remaining centered on you. A wind of at least 10 miles per hour disperses the effect.
Oh wow, that sounds pretty cool.
I thought that was very Golgari as I was rolling things. I was like, ooh, insecty things.
That's
So that's the only staff that he has. Let me see if he has any wands.
it's interesting.
Wand of fireballs. Necklace of fireballs.
You get a fireball.
A piece of fireballs.
A piece of fireballs.
Fuck the potion.
Fuck the potion.
I want.
I don't care if it's 20,000 gold. God, piece.
That's what I'm talking about. Fire trap.
That's a weird thing. What's that do?
I've just been thinking of
Piece.
He has a Wand of Wonder. Wand has 7 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend a charge and choose a target within 120 feet of you. The target can be a creature, an object, or any point in space. You roll a D100, and you consult the following table to see what happens. It has a lot of effects. I will just read the effects. I won't tell you what the rolls are to get them. You cast slow. You cast fairy fire. You are stunned until the start of your next turn. You cast gust of wind. You cast detect thoughts.
Did you say gust of wind or gust?
Gust of wind.
You just see gust come out of nowhere.
You cast detect thoughts. You cast stinking cloud. Heavy rain falls in a 60-foot area centered on the area that you cast the spell. Or a wild animal appears in an unoccupied space. The animal is not under your control and acts as it normally would. This could be a rhinoceros, elephant, or a rat. You cast lightning bolt.
God.
A cloud of 600 oversized butterflies fills a 30-foot radius centered on the target. The area becomes heavily obscured.
Is this a wand?
Yes.
Like the more he describes it, he's like, Skriz is like,
You enlarge a target by casting either enlarge or reduce. You cast darkness. Grass grows around you, obscuring you. An object of the GM's choice disappears into the ethereal plane. The object must neither be worn nor carried and can be no longer than 10 feet in any dimension. Okay? You shrink yourself as if you had cast the reduce spell. You cast fireball. You cast invisibility on yourself. Leaves grow from the target. If you choose a point in space as the target leaves, they sprout at the nearest spot. They last for 24 hours. A stream of 1d4 times 10 gems, each worth 1 gold piece, shoots from the wand's tip in a 30-foot long, 5-foot wide stream. Each gem deals 1 bludgeoning damage, and the total damage of the gems is divided equally among all creatures in the line.
so
We're not done. It does more. A burst of colorful, shimmering light extends in a 30-foot radius. Make a Constitution save. Anything in that radius is blinded if they fail. Target skin turns bright blue for 1d10 days. If you target a creature, it must make a con save. If it didn't, it becomes petrified. The end. That's all that it does. Those are all the things that it could do. It is random. Anytime you expend a charge, you roll a d100. It does one of those things.
So,
The staff would probably be more logical, but this sounds so much more
like
fun.
my vote is for the wand. If you don't recognize it, I'm going to take it myself.
So that is the wand, and I'll see if they have any rods.
Good luck topping that with a rod.
Immovable rod.
Movable rod?
Immovable rod.
Oh, how much does that cost?
It's 500.
I don't even know if I want the potions anymore.
No, the wand. Yeah, the wand can do half the stuff you're
The
pushed
staff,
with.
the rod, and the cloak. For the sword and a little extra.
We might be able to, yeah.
You happy to be my
I mean, you can wield that wand too, because it's a spellcaster.
Are you,
And like, if we get the staff,
yeah,
That would
you get
be-
staff.
That would be perfect. For
Yeah,
me.
that's like chaos in a
yeah, exactly.
There's not really protection. There is a ring of regeneration,
This is kind of a random.
and that's all the things. That's all the
So the wand, does it have so many charges a day?
It has 7 total
Oh,
charges.
And then you
That's
have to
fair
recharge
to
it at the
do.
end of the day?
That sounds like a good.
Or does it recharge after a long rest?
Mm.
Wand.
Let me write this ring of regeneration. So it's called a wand of wonder.
7 charges.
I don't think they come back.
Oh.
7 times.
Yeah, you get 7 random effects.
Oh
off
wait,
of it.
no, it does. Yeah.
Does it?
It's 1d6 plus 1
Okay.
daily. Yep.
So
Yeah.
this is kind of random and not really
But
looking
same thing with no thing.
for anything
It's not all of
magical.
If you hit it.
them. 1. on the
Would you
D20
have a few
crumbles.
like sacks of ball bearings?
Absolutely.
Can I have some of those? How much would you be willing to deposit those?
I'd throw them in if you make a purchase.
That's fair.
They're insignificant. They're just little tiny.
I'm curious where you're going with this.
So these are the, I would say, good items that I have. I mean, I could probably get you some standard things too, like normal armor. There was the +1 plate mail. It also exists. It is quite expensive. It is plate. Plate by itself is expensive.
Sure. Yeah, I'm familiar. Well, I think I'm liking the cloak and the wand and the staff and the information.
If it's too much with the cloak too, I mean, I can only have 3 items attuned anyways.
Oh,
So-
you're gonna be giving your cloak away if you get the staff.
Yeah, I can for you.
What are we thinking
How many
about?
do you have attuned right now? See, I don't have any slots.
We definitely want the wand. Definitely want the wand.
Well, due to its random nature and non being able to really control it, I would say it's probably the cheapest of the magical items. I would be willing to part with the Wand of Wonder for 300 gold.
It's pretty nice.
Okay.
300. How much is that staff worth?
The Staff of Insects is 1,000 gold.
Okay.
It's 1,300. I'd want the rod.
The rod was 500.
I'll give you the
1,800.
cloak, so let's look at this. Some money left over.
All right, and so, all right, so we're still to the point. So what if we just did 2 of the poisons, or 2 of the,
Which two?
oh man, I think the sleep one would be good.
Sleep and then effect and damage.
Yeah, sleep and effect and damage.
The
Just
2 medium ones.
yes. They were what, 200 apiece?
Mm-hmm. That sounds right.
Okay, we go with that.
They weren't, but
I know.
no, the sleep one was 800,
Yes, I know.
and the damage one was 500.
Yes.
You thought. Nice try though.
Good try.
Can I roll persuasion?
I
And see, like, see if he remembers what he's quoted.
I just said it. I just said what I quoted.
Shut up.
Alter memory.
So you're talking the damage poison
Yes.
is 500.
And then the
So sleep poison is 800, 500. A movable rod is 500. Staff of insects is 1,000. Wand of wonder is, I said 250, 300.
Yeah.
Ring of regeneration
I know.
is going to be 3,000 gold if you want that.
Oh, when was it?
Well, I can't attune to more than 3 on it too.
Cloak of protection, I said was 1,000, and the +1 plate
I think so. Actually, I'm not 100%
is going to
sure.
be that would be 1,500 for the plate +1.
Just out of curiosity, how much is that ring worth? Because I know it's very.
Ring of regeneration, 3,000 gold.
Oh, that's still
Is-
pretty expensive though.
The +1 plate attune. You have to attune to it.
No,
No,
I don't think
the
so.
Plate you don't.
Most plus armors you don't. They're just
the
normal.
Cloak you do, yes.
So
Because it just gives you a bonus to your AC. It doesn't, like, it's not the saving throws, too.
okay. Well,
Yes.
in that case, I might be interested. 1,500.
Mhm.
Not bad. So if we get all that stuff, we sell the sword. I've got a little bit of money.
So, I have the signet ring,
Sure.
but I already have means of using. What's it called? The disguise self. Is it possible if we still wear the wing and not have it attuned, or have it?
It still functions as a guild signet.
Exactly.
You don't have to be attuned to
Okay.
it, no.
Just because I have 3 right now with it attuned, so okay, that's all. That was the only thing.
Yeah, if you don't need the ring, you can decide to attune to an item during a long rest. So if you decide that you want to use it to disguise self to save spell slots, or if you don't have the item to disguise yourself anymore, yeah, you can do that. But you just do it at a long rest.
Makes sense.
All right. So if we get the wand, the staff, the rod, and the armor, we sell you the sword,
So you're saying the rod? Which rod?
immovable,
So 500.
Yep.
The staff?
staff,
Staff was
1,000.
1,000. The armor is 1,500.
100.
Then what else?
The wand.
The wand of
300.
300 on that. I've got you at 8. That's 13. I got you at 2,300 for all that stuff. Does that sound right? 30. No, sorry. 3,300 is what I have you at right now.
3,300.
With no poisons.
With no poisons.
So
Yeah.
we can add a couple poisons on as a straight trade for the sword.
Yeah. You want to do that?
Yeah, the medium too.
Yeah, just see if he'll throw those in
Yeah,
straight up for the
because
sword.
yeah.
Oh, you got the highest charisma.
Okay, so all right, we'll take and I'm gonna name off those items. And plus, I think straight up for the sword, you throw in the potion of sleep and the poison of damage, and we'll call it a straight even swap.
So that's another 1,300.
Because having a pair,
Six.
having a pair like that, you're just gonna be blasting around town looking sweet as hell.
those things.
That's
Dual wielding, knowing that you're
I told you that I'd give you
strong
4K for the sword. You're wanting $4,600 or 4,600 gold worth of items
well,
You-
with no
we-
regular potions.
We started at 50 something.
52. You're down to 4. We worked down. This is all about bartering. It's like negotiations, man.
5,200 is more than I would pay for that weapon.
And you said you would sell it for around 5.
I can't do an even swap.
I've got 6 gold to
But-
throw on top.
If you throw in 300 gold and the sword, I'll give you all the things and the information.
How about 200 gold's worth of diamonds?
You have 200 gold worth of diamonds?
Because he got 5 of them from that.
You
one
don't
guy.
need these?
I need 1.
We
Okay.
ain't resing anybody.
None of you have Revivify then, huh?
I do
Not
not
yet.
I can't get it unless I take something.
I'm a player.
Something.
Emotional damage. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I still have 1.
You need
You
diamonds.
can always get more as soon as
200 gold worth of diamonds. Yes, I'd make that trade.
All right.
Wait, we got 75 off the old hag.
Mm.
I have 53.
I don't think that
53
adds up
gold,
to 300.
period?
Yeah.
But he's just said he'd offer for 200 worth, so.
I'd take the sword and 200 gold worth of diamonds. I'd do that trade.
All right.
Sounds
Oh,
good.
All right, so mark in your inventories on D&D Beyond. Immovable Rod is a thing.
You guys already got it added.
Damn.
The staff
on
of
top of it.
insects, I think what was it called?
Wand staff of insect swarm, I think.
Yes, that's it. Then the plate mail or the plate plus one,
Yep, I'll take that.
Cool.
and then the 300 gold was the. What was the 300 gold? The
Was
Wand of Wonder.
Wand of Wonder. Yep.
So that's someone's.
That's Grizz's.
And then you have it's not in D&D Beyond, just make a note. Sleep poison and damage poison. It's 1 vial each. It will coat a weapon and it will last for 1 hour.
And then I'll take your cloak as well, because you're gonna
If you,
do the
if you
staff.
want to, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that'd
fine.
be cool. What's the cloak called?
Just cloak protection. That gives you +1 to stuff. Does that max your attunements out?
Yeah, because I'll deattune from the sword and reattune to the cloak.
From the sword.
The one we just sold.
Oh,
I had to attune.
I
to-
thought you meant your main sword.
He's
I'm
like, yeah, I just sold everything. What I got? a
YOLO.
+1.
So the plate, it's full plate. You got that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Plate +1.
Yep.
That.
Giving you guys better stuff means I can throw harder things at you.
Yep.
No, that doesn't.
Oh, that's exactly what
That,
it
that just
means.
means we're gonna have way more fun in your fights.
Also, you gain a level.
Yay! Level time.
Nice. That is.
I know it's been a while since you guys have had a level.
To be honest,
When was the last level?
it's been probably
I don't
5, 6
remember.
sessions.
You guys have fought a lot of things. You guys have done some things.
December,
You guys have
after
learned.
Christmas.
Was it before the guild pack?
We've
went
seen-
down?
Yeah, we've seen some shit.
You guys have seen some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
I felt like it was time after the Gorgons and all that. I feel like it was deserving.
Yay.
So you guys will actually gain the benefits the next time that you take a long rest, but you are the next level.
Okay.
You guys want to go to sleep?
You know,
I'm
I'm like a little.
I am so tired. All this buttering has made me sleepy.
It's the old, your
So I'm
grandma-
curious.
Yeah, she is.
With no
focused.
shield, what is your AC at now, sir?
So I'll be at 21.
So I just need to know how hard I have to hit you now. Okay,
You don't
cool.
have to hit that.
So magic, you still suck at that, right? Excellent.
Got another +1 on the saving throw.
It's true.
So I got
Jesus,
a
that's insane.
poison.
It's a sleep poison and a damage poison. The extra damage that it does is going to be an extra 1d8 to
Nice.
your weapon strike. You would be able to coat, if you're trying to use ranged weapons, I would say that you'd be able to coat 10 bolts or arrows,
Or just one sword
but it would still only last for 1 hour. One sword, one mace, one dagger,
for 1 hour.
just one
And
weapon.
only one coating.
one coating. And it does an extra 1d8 poison. They have to make a constant. Oh, this is not the one that adds the status. This is just damage. So it's just an extra 1d8 poison. The sleep one, how it works is when you strike with that weapon, they have to make a Constitution saving throw of a DC. I think I put the DC at DC 14. If they fail, they are put to sleep for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. That's pretty good. That's like a long.
Unless they take more damage. If something else hits them or they take more damage, then they would wake back up.
Yeah, but we can use
It's
that.
sort of like it's described you as almost like a puffer cloud or like a puffer mushroom. They concentrate it down into liquid form, so it's like a temporary sleep. It's
So
not
it's-
magical,
Exactly. There we go.
which is important because it gets around fave resistances too.
I don't say that would be nice for
Yeah,
like
put me to sleep with
recon
that.
missions. Like we're just trying to sneak past some guards. Drop it on them.
There are definitely applications for it.
Well, 10 minutes. If we can't get around in
10 minutes is a long
Or I'm
time.
just going to use the
Yeah.
wand and be like, poof. Oh, there's a ride.
I can't wait for the first time him to use that, and
you don't-
something weird happens that doesn't help him
Is
at
it a
all.
random roll?
It is. Yeah. It's a.
You might cast invisibility. You might cast lightning bolt.
He's
You
gonna
might
ha-
cast fireball.
He's gonna have to go to like a Toys R Us, look for barn animals, just so he has them, like painted barn animals. Like you have a rhino, chicken.
We're gonna use tokens. They'll be fine.
That's
I want
fine.
real barn animals.
Then you're gonna have to buy them.
Alright, that's
I
it.
can't have
Yeah.
all the minis. That's why I'm so glad that we
Minis
didn't have
were-
like a circle of the moon druid that changes into all the different animals because I have to have it. Like, all right, you're a tiger. We're buying that mini today. That's happening. We're going out to buy that. Oh, you're a polar bear today? Great. I got to go get that mini. Oh, now you're a duck. I don't know why you're a duck, but now I have a duck mini.
That's quacktastic.
Ah, I see what you did there, sir.
Billy Madison, greatest movie.
So, it's still too soon for you to take a long rest.
Yeah.
What if I'm tired?
Well, I mean, we were already on the way to the Golgari anyway, so it wouldn't make sense for us to take a.
It was a pleasure doing business with you as you guys are kind of wandering off. Oh,
Prison, it's like.
yeah, the wand has to be used by any spellcaster.
Mhm.
And you are a spellcaster.
Okay.
So.
And you're not.
I was just singing a little cry when I was like, what?
That little teardrop.
Any spellcaster. but
Anyone that can
bard
cast
and
spells
artificer.
can use the wand.
Your name starts with an S.
You can't.
Then you can't.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Only spellcasters whose names don't start with S.
So
He's like, changing my name.
wait,
Yeah.
whoa! Before we
My
leave,
name's now Larry.
before we leave, you promised us information.
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah, see, we almost left, guys. What are you doing? So how you doing? What's the 411 on the old Gorgons?
Their most terrifying weapon are their eyes.
Okay.
So we poke their eyes.
If you can avoid their glare, if you can fight them in the darkness, if you can blind them in some way,
Darkness spell. Does anybody have blind sense?
well, also that I have heard reflections work well.
So I told you when he made his helmet that he has like welding goggles on there. Would that work to help protect against the Gorgons, or we don't know until we find out?
I would say that you wouldn't know.
How reflective is it though? That's what I'm talking about.
And if you wonder how factual the information is, he reaches into like a bag of holding and he pulls out a Gorgon's head that's been petrified.
Nice. Now that's pretty cool.
I feel like the proof is in the pudding and he holds it out to you.
Wait. Pudding?
Pudding.
That's like dessert gravy, guys. How much for the pudding?
Well, I don't have any of that. You could probably get some from one of the inns down here.
Blindness, reflection.
Their eyes are their greatest strength, but you have to remember that they can see in the dark. What I know of Gorgons, they don't really care much for the light. And their lairs are designed for them to have all the advantage. So if you are hunting Gorgons, be aware that they will have home turf advantage.
All right.
Well, sounds good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm really hoping that you guys succeed, so I don't have to have someone scavenge all the nice things I just sold you off of your dead bodies.
And you know what? I hope you never use those 9 live swords against us. So life is good.
Yep.
I'm not really an assassin anymore.
Good.
I do some mercenary work on the side now. You know, saving lost kittens and things like that.
And that's what a good Samaritan does. All right, we're on our
Well,
way.
it's for money, but, you know,
Yeah, sure. You don't have to.
potato.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so we got our stuff. We're looking nice and shiny. We know how to fight the Gorgons. Why don't we go fight some Gorgons?
The only issue with that is we don't know where the Gorgons
Yeah,
are.
I
Exactly.
feel we talk to Lizzie's father, see if we can get some information.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
In Golgari territory.
I thought you were about to say I don't know either. I'm like,
Well,
all right,
I mean,
gotta leave.
we're following my grandmother now, so
She's the captain now.
she's the captain.
All right. Well, Granny Liz, let's get it going.
Okay, did we do all the shopping that we need to do?
Yep.
I feel better.
I feel more Golgari already.
And then I suppose we're off. You follow her down. She heads back out onto the main area of Wraith Street. You go down a set of steps that kind of go off of it into near an aqueduct area where an old kind of river kind of goes to the side, runs parallel. You walk down through this big stone archway that goes off into the darkness. I hope you brought torches so I can see in the dark.
Oh, just look at my horns. They're glowing.
How long does that last?
I don't know.
Apparently forever.
I actually don't know either.
Apparently this is just canon now. You just have glowing horns forever.
I think
So I have magical tinkering. So
Sure.
Once I imbue an item,
How long does it last?
it lasts till I do enough.
So you just have headlights forever.
Yeah.
it's
Until I make another item, like if I make the item little fart.
Got it.
sound or
So I'm
whatever.
going to call Bull. You see what I did there? Because you're a Minotaur. All right.
With normal fingers.
So
No.
you head down into the darkness. As you wander through, you hear skittering and scurrying, sounds like rats and various sewer type creatures heading off. Something splashes into the water, small. No, it's no cause for alarm. You hear her kind of rambling. You never want to travel down these tunnel ways by yourself now because there are lots of things that lurk about, and there are horrors in the dark down here.
Well, I'm not too worried. We got Grandma Liz. We're safe. You're powerful. Right? Right.
Well, I'm old. I don't know that being old is a power per se,
You're wise.
but I've lived a long time.
Not as long as your cat.
I've lived longer than my
Ah,
cat.
shit. I got the whole story all wrong. Alright.
I've had the cat for almost half of my life.
What the? Okay, whew. How old are you?
said like 120 or something. I don't know.
Granny Smith took 400 years to have a grandchild? Wait, no, half. Oh, Jesus. Like 800 years. Math's hard.
I like watching Elvin do math. He's like, wait, I need a calculator.
This is Elvis in a nutshell.
So, you guys travel down this tunnel. The water becomes more still, less movement. You see that at one point the architecture designed in this was beautiful. Time, age, moss, and the darkness have allowed things to grow over. Vines from plants and trees above have draped down. You have to dodge out of the way of a few of them. Spider webs, seem to be more prevalent in these dark tunnels. Until eventually you come to a clearing. You see a bunch of moss-covered vines intersecting. To a passerby, this would just look like a bunch of overgrowth over time. Your guide says, "We're here." She holds out her Golgari signet, and the vines start twisting and unlocking from each other and form a giant archway that leads further into a forested area.
Holy cow. Grandma Liz was not lying to us. Thank you for being a friend and not an enemy.
The day's still early.
And she laughs.
Minor illusion to everything in that journal.
We're actually just locked up in her house right now. That's all.
Yeah.
We got no
You guys are
beer.
familiar with Hansel and Gretel, right?
Yeah, we got,
Yeah.
we got no beer.
This house is made of candy. You like candy. As you walk in through the archways, as the last of you pass through, the vines and stuff twist back, and you look above and you see the symbol of the Golgari, that like insectoid with the skull emblem along it. It illuminates green across the top. It looks to be like a stone emblem. It's dark. It's almost pure darkness in here. Your horns definitely help illuminate it. It's very similar to the Woodwraith Forest. In fact, if you didn't know any better, you'd swear you were still in the Woodwraith Forest. The Guild Hall, I use the term loosely, it does look like a structure, but the structure almost looks as if it was carved out from the forest itself. There is an actual ceiling in here that's made from twisted branches and vines that goes up every bit of 200 feet above you. There is no light from the outside world or the world above coming in. There are some magically lit lanterns on the outside of some of these buildings, and I use that term very loosely as they are just structures of stone-carved wreckage and shrubs, plants, moss, vines. Some of them are built from giant mushroom caps. About you see the dead, zombies covered in fungus and rot. They drip ooze and have spores and things coming off of them. Some of them look like they are as much fungus as they are zombie. They seem to mindlessly wander about doing meaningless tasks within the Undercity and in the Golgari area. They are harvesting other plants. They are pushing dirt, digging holes. They're doing manual labor, doing repair work, minor things that others are not. Not usually far behind them, you'll see one of these corpse harvesters with definitely necromantic ties controlling a few of these herds as you have known them to be called. There are other creatures here too. Many drow, many humans, a lot of them dressed very similar to the swarm lord that you saw. You kind of gather that the less dilapidated that the person's armor and gear is, the higher ranking that they are. They just carry themselves differently in a more regal way. The soldiers that are down here that are not spellcasting soldiers, or at least not predominantly spellcasting soldiers, you recognize to be some sort of paladins, but not paladins like what you're used to from the surface. Their armor is constructed from bark, these black pieces of bark from the trees that are down here. It's interwoven with bits of metal and leather. The metal almost looks as if it's just scrap pieces that they found together. They look almost like they're wearing trees. They're various different races. There's centaurs, there's goblins, there's all of the surface-dwelling folk. There are even a few crawl, the insectoids that are wandering around. They seem to have broken away from their hive mind connection from their people. There are other Crawl that float around that seem to have formed these like communal, non-hostile, more civilized branches of the Crawl that hover around in some of the treetops, and you see canvas houses and or canopy houses made from rotted leaves and other types of material. It looks like it should be completely decomposing. But as they've said down here, the Golgari specialize in keeping that which is dead alive. That's very true even with their structures. It has the smell of like wet, damp bark and decay out in the forest if you've ever seen like a fallen tree. I know some of you guys are wilderness people, so you know that smell, that damp after it rains. And go touch some grass, son. It'll be fine. There's like a constant mist in the air. It's not thick, but it seems to provide a lot of the moisture down here for the plant life, and because the things that are green are very green, the things that are alive are very alive. But these plants have adapted to subterranean life. They do not need sunlight. There's a few what you would consider structures that look as though they're some sort of like government type buildings, for lack of a better term. They have big wooden pillars that go up on either side. In the middle of this sort of square, for lack of a better terms, is a giant emblem from the Golgari that seems to emanate like a green aura from around it. It's not enough to put off bright light or even dim light, as the darkness down here seems almost unnatural. It's so dark down here in the places that it's dark that even your magical light seems to have a hard time penetrating it.
Ting, ting, ting.
There are these pathways and steps that go up into various parts of these trees, with other pathways that seem to go further in. Like I said, this almost looks like a big building with different stairways and pathways that go off into various parts of. You would have guessed it to be a forest, but not really a forest.
You are in the guild gate. I can go find your father if you would like to meet him.
We'll be fine. I think that's our best course of action. Best interest of the party.
A couple of these soldier slash paladin looking Golgari knights. The one looks half decayed on the side of his face. He looks like he's some sort of undead creature. And the other one with him is he's a centaur. They approach you because they've taken notice of you. You guys definitely look like you don't belong here. They seem to recognize Lorinda. And they kind of give her this salute that your time down here with the Golgari is sort of a way that they greet. It's like a hand across the shoulder, a couple of taps, and then they put their hand out in like a presenting way, and they kind of take a little bow. Lorinda, the centaur is speaking. We have not seen you in ages. What brings you? We thought you retired. I brought some friends. We need to speak to Lessinar. The centaur kind of looks a little stern. Why? And he kind of eyeballs you. It's a family thing. He kind of looks over at his undead companion, kind of gives him a... and he lumbers off. As he's walking away, you see the backside of his armor looks like a carapace shell from one of the giant beetles that you guys fought earlier. because it has that sort of shimmer from the faint light from your horns that catches it.
Damn, we could have got that for some armor.
We can always go back and get it. Just sitting there.
So the centaur is kind of standing there and looking a little stern. He's not saying anything. You can just tell he's kind of waiting. You get the impression, though, that he is not going to let you wander about. How long do you want to wait?
Do we really have a choice?
You have a lot of choice. You always have choice. You can say, I'm just going to wander around, or we're going to leave, or whatever you want to
How
do.
fast does Granny Smith walk over here? Like,
You feel that the journey that you guys took could have been done in about half the time.
okay.
She walks very slow.
Do some more elven math here. We'll give her that much time.
Okay. She's still with you.
I didn't say it out
I
loud.
was just letting you know. She's actually still with you. So she's kind of looking at the centaur.
We have no way to get out of here at all. Like without the insignia, we're stuck. You saw the trees close behind us and vines. We're on their time now.
It's just the times we live in. It's
No,
tense. It's tense everywhere.
I respect it. Everybody's got their secrets. I wonder who we got it from. But all good.
I think it's fair to say that if you've lived any amount of time, you have a secret or two. I have a lot.
That does run in the family.
After a few moments, it feels a lot longer than it actually was. It was probably only maybe 5 minutes, but it feels like it was a half an hour to Elvin. And I'd say probably Skriznet too.
Prison's over there, like, playing in dirt.
You two are definitely the most impatient of the group by
Is
far.
there any like loose dirt?
Yeah.
Or sand?
All kinds of loose dirt.
I'm gonna pick
Not sand, loose dirt.
I'm gonna pick some of that loose dirt up.
Okay.
Try to like crush it up, almost make it into like a powder
All right.
while I wait.
After roughly 5-ish minutes, you see the undead looking humanoid creature come back, and behind him is a tall, thin, I would say he looks athletic, but not muscular. He looks fit from what you can tell.
Does he have the look from the picture?
He looks exactly like
Still
him.
like that.
He looks like he has not aged a day.
Your dad looks like he was rained on a sour pickle.
The difference is that instead of his hair being stone white, it's jet black.
Oh, he's de-aging.
He's de-aging.
And he has the big, like, villainous type curled up mustache with the long pointy goatee. Now it's sporting, the goatee itself has like a little knot at the end of it and like one little tiny gem of some type. It looks to be green, like almost like an emerald, but a small tiny chip of an emerald. But the very end of it, past that, it looks sharp, like it almost looks like it could cut you.
Is your dad part of the Rakdos?
He has the eyebrows, they never unfurl, they're constantly looking down.
Just
It's like his face does not ever change from that expression. It's like the only expression he seems to have, even if he's walking. He's kind of looking, he's walking past, he's kind of giving other members of the Golgari kind of assuming that they're doing what they're supposed to do.
So it's a constant look of disappointment.
He looks just disappointed in everyone.
It's kind of,
As he approaches, he kind of sees you and he doesn't falter, but you notice that his steps aren't quite as confident as he walks. He misses just maybe a step or two and then picks it right back up. It's very obvious. He's got the staff in hand. It looks similar to the shaman staff that you fought in the hut, but polished. The skull at the top is definitely recognizable as it's humanoid. You weren't sure what the skull on the other one was, but it looks like it's been painted or it has ruins and things painted into the sides of it. You know that this is a type of magic down here called rune marking. It's something that the Golgari have developed. It's not quite tattoos and it's not quite permanent, but it does enhance their abilities. Some Golgari, as you've seen around now, as you're seeing this, you recognize that they have paint. It looks almost like war paint on their faces, but it's this rune marking. He kind of jams the staff down into the ground, and it thuds and echoes, even though the ground is not solid. So, why are you here?
We have some business down here. That's why.
What is your business?
We want to take out the Gorgons.
Oh, big man returning home, gonna save all of us.
Well, maybe it isn't for all of you.
What is your quarrel with the Gorgons?
They attacked us first.
They're assholes.
You're not wrong.
They drew first blood. Rocky.
Yep.
Never mind.
Rainbow.
Not Rocky. It's
Rainbow.
And you plan on dealing with them.
With mostly me, these guys are just my sidekicks.
He looks unimpressed.
Oh, no.
You notice Lizka never looking like directly at him, just more to the side.
I'm bowing. Like this guy.
He's not a king.
He made me feel like
He's just a guy.
he made me feel like he was a king, or he might be the leader of the guild pass.
I can't say that you will be welcomed back with open arms. You abandoned us. You abandoned your family. You abandoned your responsibilities to go off on this wild crusade of everlasting life when it was always here.
I just felt trapped here. I didn't feel like I belonged.
From your family. You weren't in a cage, clearly. You were able to just leave.
I did.
And now you're back. How did that quest go? Did you find the answers that you were looking for?
Some of them.
Did you find those unnatural tomes that give you the answers to immortality?
You know what,
Did you
Lesnar?
find your wife?
I know where she is.
I'll do you.
I do.
So maybe you just have the ability to chase people off.
Maybe the people in my family chase dreams of the arcane and unnatural.
Well, maybe dreams are more attainable than your favor.
She chose to worship an entity which has been banished from this land for a long time. And now she's more beast than elf.
Looks like you have the gift of banishing your family with that attitude.
I did not banish them. They left.
Maybe not intentional.
And what is your name?
My name is King Skriznet, son of Skraznet,
And what are you king of?
king of the
This
goblins.
troop? I would say that your kingdom is lacking.
But you know what? What this is not lacking? Closeness, family, something you don't have.
Jesus.
Well, as you can see where I'm at now, I haven't needed it. And he looks at Lizica.
I'm still looking away.
Man, look him in the eyes. He don't own you.
Yeah, he's what we call upstairs.
You don't even have to address him as dad because he ain't one.
Yeah, what we call him upstairs in the rich city. He's kind of scary. Never mind, King. I'll bow again.
No, I'm over here.
Oh, sorry, King. Yes.
Well, let's get back on track here a little bit. We got some Gorgonite ass to kick, and we need a direction to go.
I find it funny that the tiny one is the bravest one in your group. You
Sure.
also seem like you could be as well.
Maybe not.
You want to find out? He's pretty strong. I'll put money on it.
And you're just gonna waltz right into the Gorgon's lair and just slay them all. No plan, no course of action, no backup.
We'll think of a plan.
We do our best work when there is no plan.
I believe they call that improvisation.
Yeah,
How y'all doing?
that's that upstairs life.
Interesting.
What you know about that?
Lizica, I can't say I'm not happy to see you, but I'm not overly thrilled to see you.
That's like a triple negative. I don't know what he's trying to say.
That's the
I
most-
am satisfied that you still exist.
It's the
That's a
most
positive.
emotion I've remembered you ever feeling.
We're not raised that way. It's not our way.
I know.
I'm sure your mother, if she was still mostly your mother, would appreciate you being here.
So where is his mother? Do you know?
I do. Probably out drinking the blood of something.
What happened?
Oh. Did you say drinking the blood?
Yes,
Like eating a bloody steak or a little bit different?
maybe some of each.
Like, is she a vampire?
No. You know that the temptations of our people are as ancient as anything in this world.
Trying to change forms?
I do recall.
And that our history is tied much to the spiders. Your mother was named after the goddess of the spiders.
Well, that was a bad idea.
She became obsessed, feeling that this was the only way that the Golgari and our people would succeed, was to form an alliance.
I thought that was just coincidental when you threw that in there.
Unfortunately, it is a curse that has befallen a lot of our people over the years. I wish that you had been here. Maybe you could have convinced her. Together, we maybe could have convinced her.
I mean, yeah, Skriz don't always, like, he knows that she's changed. So, did your daughter take the same path?
She chose to go with her mother. I believe her exact words were that I am a cold, uncaring bastard.
That checks out. I mean, sorry, King. Sorry.
He's not a fucking king.
You see, like,
Do you know that?
a little bit of a tremble in his eye, and you can kind of see his eyes sort of watering slightly, but he fights it back immediately.
Like,
You see a tear fall down. You just
Not,
suck it back up.
no tear. You just see his eyes kind of get a little watery, just for a second.
Did you love her?
Love is a point of view.
But did you love her?
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
Apparently not.
Self-centered. Okay. Well,
you just heard he's an uncaring bastard.
yeah.
So,
I
Well-
cared for both of my children.
Well, if you cared hard enough, they'd probably still be here and would have supported you during your reign.
I'm not a
where are
king.
you getting? Like, you
I'm still not a king.
Not yet.
The Golgari have no king.
Okay.
Well, maybe you guys aren't trying hard enough. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you just showed a little love and care for your children and maybe your wife, you would have somebody to love and go home to. You made Grandma Liz over here all upset.
You do look at her and she seems sad as all this is happening.
See? Vigilant.
And what
You're
about
fine.
you? Who do you go home to? Who do you live with?
And puppet. I'm being serious. I'm not
No.
trying to be
His meat
serious.
locker.
I live in a shack occasionally.
By the river.
You have dark magic about you.
What's your definition? I mean, I build creatures. I have a hand puppet, and it's right here. I can.
Your
do-
friend rambles a lot, doesn't he?
I can do cool stuff with it. I have Harvey. He's my cool monster.
If your intention is to fight the Gorgons, I can tell you where they are.
I wasn't done talking yet. All right, where the
Caleb was
Gorgons?
done hearing you talk.
But I would suggest leaving your mother alone.
We'll see about that later. But
That's not priority. But
For
if
now.
if you choose that, we'll be right beside you.
let's deal with one thing at a time.
Yeah, so where's the Gorgons?
The Gorgons are in the ancient part of the city, in the old ruins. It's northeast of here.
Northeast.
You can follow that pathway. It branches off in several directions. You will be able to find the way. While you are not Golgari anymore, it's instinctual. Go to the place that feels like home.
So it won't be his house.
And one final thing. If we so happen to want to find his mother, where would we look? Like, what's a good rough estimate?
She wanders about in the forest.
Oh, fuck.
She is the queen of the forest.
Is that forest on the path that we'll be taking?
No.
Okay, so I don't want to run into her on the way down there.
Her reign is in the Woodwraith forest.
Oh, where we went. Okay, so where we came from. Yes, I think we killed your mom. Maybe, or maybe your sisters.
You are welcome to stay the night here. You will be protected. You will be fed.
Y'all got gravy?
I don't think so. Maybe a mushroom variety?
Can we have a
I saw the little fish market. Do you
Mu-
got any like eels?
Mushroom gravy?
Sometimes.
Did you not see the fish market with all the slippery, slimy stuff?
You said mushroom gravy. What the hell is that?
It's more earthy.
So,
Good for you. Good for the hot.
Oh,
follow me.
oh God.
I will take you to the banquet hall.
Do you want to go hold his hand?
No.
No.
I have a friend who would be interested in meeting you. All of you.
Do what?
I have a friend who would be interested in meeting all of you.
Why do you think they'd be interested in meeting us?
Because they also have a fight with the Gorgons.
Teamwork? So they want to tag along with us? We can't guarantee anyone's safety.
I think it would be best to discuss those matters with him.
Sure.
He takes you into a path off of the west side of the forested area. You go up what looks to be like a winding set of unnatural steps that look to be carved from the tree branches and stuff. They're not a natural structure. You get up to several floors up, and it opens up into this big open. It looks like a dining hall. It looks like a banquet hall. There's doors on either side, all made from the same sort of bark and tree structure. Everything in here looks like you're basically inside a tree or multiple trees, but the trees all have that sort of wet, mossy kind of feel to them. The banquet hall itself has probably 4 or 5, we'll say 5 for the sake of just argument, 5 tables of various sizes. There's one big one in the middle, and there are 2 on either side. They're long tables. The big one in the middle can seat upwards of 12 people. The chairs look to be made from old branches and things in a forest that you could make them from. The padding itself doesn't really look like padding. It looks more like carapaces from insectoids, leaves, bundles. None of the chairs actually match. They have a similar shape and structure, high backing arch backs on the chairs, but none of them are made from the exact same materials. The banquet hall currently is empty. There's a chandelier up in the top made from, it looks like antlers, several different antlers all together. Looks very redneck. There is what you know the kind of chandeliers I'm talking about. I know you've seen them. But within it, there's all these bits of flowers and holly and subterranean plants that you've seen around here, kind of woven in between them. There are non-flame lights lighting it. It's all magical lit on the tips of some of these candelabras. When you enter in, you see some of the zombies kind of shambling around, these mold and fungus zombies that you've seen. They're carrying what look to be trays, but they're just dressed in whatever they died in. They're not dressed up in fancy tuxes or anything. There is music playing in here. You're not sure the source of it. It sounds like it is encompassing all around. It's very eerie. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It almost sounds like it's out of tune or played on instruments that are not in tune. It's quiet, but it's constant. Parts of it almost sound like insectoid buzzing. You're able to take a seat, and a couple of the zombie servers bring out these trays with wooden mugs, and they're filled with what looks to be water. It just looks like basic water. It looks a little murky, but it's water. They wander off, and I'm not sure, how are you guys wanting to sit at the table? Because there's a lot of chairs, and the table's very long. So you guys are kind of down at one end of the table. Are you sitting directly across from each other, or?
Is there a table? Is there a chair like right at the end?
Yeah, it's the biggest chair.
I'm gonna sit there in that chair.
Okay, that's fine.
I feel like just
It's fit for a king.
across from each other is fine. Besides,
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Lesenar. He sits in one of the chairs across from you. He never seems to really break eye contact with you, and he still has this just look of disappointment / furling / he doesn't seem happy or comfortable. But you don't really remember much from him.
Mm-hmm.
The bits that you do remember are he was cold, and this seems to line up with that. For a second, you almost feel like you catch the slightest glimpse of a smile, but much like the tears that almost came out of his eyes, it's gone like that.
Mm-hmm.
He stops kind of making eye contact with you, and he kind of looks around at the rest of your friends. It looks as though you've been through a lot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And other than the Gorgons, do you have other business in the Undercity?
Well, we're tasked with helping all of Ravnica get better. So, take that for what it's worth. Like, if we can help Drod in the fight to win against the Gorgons, that's kind of what we're going to do. Sounds like there may be some unresolved family issues, though, that may be on the plate.
I think many people have unresolved family issues.
Fucking A.
that's Rocky saying that. Just... oh, that's so funny.
On the plus side, at least your daddy's not a villain.
That's true. Not yet.
As far as we know.
Or is he?
He's got a mustache.
He's
to
got
be a
that
villain.
villain goatee.
He does have the total
Man's a
villain
Bond
look.
villain. He's like a 1920s circus villain.
Things have been hectic down here at Lizica. I know that I have not always been the warmest person. I am happy to see you.
I'm happy to see you too.
I had great aspirations for
Insight
you.
check. Are they happy to see each
Are
other?
they happy to see? Well, Elvin's not finding out.
I probably don't know.
Well, neither of you can
But
find
I think
out.
it's 11.
What is it?
12.
He's hard to read.
Spurs really don't give a shit.
You feel like that was probably hard for him to say, so it must be the truth.
Yeah, while they're talking, Skriz has got he's looking into dark water. He's like,
And seeing that, I'm just gonna say Rocky is not gonna fuck with that one.
yeah, don't taste like beer to me. Tastes like water.
You know, this is a happy time. My son has returned home. Celebration is in order. and he kind of snaps his fingers, and a couple of zombies come lumbering over. You see, half of the one guy's face is sort of falling off. He's got his eyeballs dangling out. There's a big mushroom growing out of the side of his head, and he's just sitting there.
Oh, God bless you.
Wine. We drink wine down here.
Oh, that's fine. Yes, because this stuff,
Wine.
whatever's in this cup.
4 bottles, bring the bottles.
Can I have one for myself?
5 bottles, bring the bottles.
You want one, Chris? Me? No funny business. Just actual drinking. I'm trying to have a good time. I already died once today.
He got 5 bottles. There's 5 of us here.
Oh. I thought, okay. Matt's hard.
So, I've been working very closely with Gerard. This Gorgon thing has caused a lot of friction. Attacks have been frequent and violent. We sent some of our strongest shamans to deal with the threats. But it seems as if the Sisters of Stone Death were not entirely destroyed from long ago. At least one remains that we know of.
And that's obviously who's leading these Gorgonites.
We believe so.
And she's in that tunnel system
Yes.
underneath. Has anyone laid eyes on her and lived to tell the tale?
Just from a distance. She's larger than the other ones.
Higher DC.
Probably.
Higher hit points.
Some of them seem to hide their Gorgon nature through hoods and cloaks. She seems to be proud of who she is. No fear. Also, she has a large scar on the side of her face, from where she faced off with Gerard himself.
Oh.
They believe that she was one of the first Gorgons to ever have the curse. Gorgons don't reproduce in a way that other species reproduce. They're made. They're afflicted with a curse. People who become Gorgons typically choose to be a Gorgon. We have fought. Fortunately, most of our casualties have been those who are already dead. We use the dead down here as tools. And soldiers if need be. We have tried to form alliances with the other species, some of the less civilized ones, including the Crawl. Some have joined our side. They also have quarrel with the Gorgons. The Gorgons wish to rule all of the Undercity, not just Golgari areas. Finding out about our new neighbors, the Demir, they have strong hatred of them. They feel that they do not belong down here. This is not their place. This is not their land. And they've been living amongst us in secret all this time. For 10,000 years, no one even knew that they were here. They feel that that's a betrayal of what the original guild pact was meant to do, which was to unite the people. Their main feud is with Gerard, definitely. Their letter basically said that. Their initiation of war, so to speak. I'm sure that the story goes further.
Mm-hmm. So are these little zombies like going around like putting like wine cups?
Yeah, they're coming out bringing the wine and the cups and stuff, yep.
Where is Rocky sitting at this moment?
All right, so in my head, I kind of picture you guys sitting kind of how you are, only his dad is sitting across from you and you're at the head of the table.
Yeah,
and
he's sitting right there.
He's like, and Elvin and Rocky are next to you.
I want to cast Mage Hand. Can I make it smaller? Like, cause I want to find the one zombie that had like piece of meat sloughing off, and I want like
It's always this guy.
when Rocky goes to get a drink of his wine, like I want the mage hand to just like flick that little piece of skin that was hanging, so it sloughs off right in his wine when he goes to take a drink.
I'll allow it. Yeah. We're gonna call that it's gonna be a check. We'll use your spellcasting modifier. I have a DC in mind.
You said just use my
Oh,
spell.
don't roll it on the mat. Get it. We need a good
You
roll.
said a spell casting.
Yeah, it's whatever your spellcasting modifier is.
+7.
I'm gonna roll that dice again.
Yeah, roll that dice again.
In fact, I got some dice you can use.
Do I see what he's doing? Wait 1 second.
You saw him cast Mage Hand.
Oh.
I don't think you know exactly what he's trying to do with said Mage Hand.
That's what I get.
Are you good? And I'll give you guidance.
What a jerk. You guys are so mean to Rocky. Why? He's such a nice guy.
Because he washes his hands and likes clean water.
Dude loves soap. Why is that bad?
Soap's a great thing.
What was that? Like a 3?
Yeah.
It was a 3. Yeah.
Is that 14?
And then it's 14.
So the Mage Hand,
Rolled 3 and it ended up with a 14. That's
while you're all kind of sitting around, it kind of floats up and it flicks off a piece of the thing and it falls right into your cup. You hear it go ploop.
Excuse me. Can you not be so close to my drink? Sir, thank you.
And it grabs your cup and it like just sticks its hand down in there and grabs the piece of its flesh and eyeball and tries to jam it back in its face. And then it hands you the cup back.
What the? Oh,
Are you gonna
God.
be all right, Rock?
I think he's going to need a new cup.
I'm gonna need. Can I get my own cup? I got a thing about zombie flesh and falling off and where's the cup? I'll go get my own cup. Ain't no one need to wait on me.
Just go get him another cup. It'll be fine.
So I'm gonna stand up and start following the zombie to where the cups are.
Okay.
And
He
then-
goes into what in the back it looks sort of like a kitchen area on one of the side doors.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I just got following Clint here. We're passing notes now about how to fuck with me.
I don't know why you guys. I think he's the only one who's never messed with you.
No, I did the.
Oh,
I
the
did
gravy
with the
thing.
Screws.
Yeah, you did. Oh, you did do. Oh my God! Everybody is always messing with you, man.
That's what you get for playing lawful good.
It's true. Yeah.
You're basically lawful good. You're
Everyone
like
fucks with you.
nothing wrong with that. Every group needs a moral compass, I think.
So I'm gonna try and get my own cup.
Yeah, you're
No,
able to
like-
kind of wander around in there. These zombies that are in there kind of like doing things. Some of them are less decayed than others. Some of them are actually sort of sloppy. They have like bits of ooze and things dripping off of them. They look like they came straight from a bog or a bog or a marsh.
That's like his nightmare.
I know it looks terrible in here. You're like, where is the better business bureau? This place should be shut down. This is disgusting.
Excuse me, y'all have any soap anywhere? Soap?
About 4 of these like zombies kind of turn and look at you like, the one his jaw kind of comes off and it's kind of drools coming out of his face.
Oh God. Can I see if I can find the soap? See if there is any soap.
Make I'll let you choose investigation or perception.
Quit his job as a local guard to be a health inspector.
Yeah.
This is how health inspecting came
Yeah.
to arise.
Exactly.
11.
You're not sure where it is. Someone else coming through one of the other kitchens, back doors. It's this. It's actually a Veldican. He looks out of place and sort of pale down here. He looks to be wearing like a cooking apron. He goes, all right. Back to the. You're dripping in the food again. Just go.
Thank you. Excuse me, do you have any soap?
Why are you in my kitchen?
Well, half a
Soap.
zombie face fell in my water.
Nope. Yes, we do, sir.
May I see the soap
Absolutely. This way.
and a clean sponge?
Yes, I will handle Drippy over here. We're gonna put him on mopping duty.
I don't know that that's gonna be better. It's
Use his own juices as the mop.
Maybe we will put him on gardening duty. I'm not sure.
which one is drippy? They all kind of got various degrees of drippiness.
Well, he's really drippy.
I will not argue that. Yeah.
So,
I think he'll start doing his own dishes and then just keep cleaning the dishes, like all of them in the kitchen. Like he finds a little apron and like puts it on, ties it up, and just starts doing dishes.
that seems like such a odd way of doing things. And he casts prestidigitation on the dishes.
Huh.
I'll
You know,
keep
I'll
you
pre-
broke, Rocky.
I prefer the old-fashioned way. I know it's clean.
Understood. We do have soap. You're here for a cup?
Well, cup, plate, utensils.
All right. You can find your things and then out of the kitchen.
I hear you put mushrooms in your gravy. What?
Oh, yes. We have a lot of different types of mushrooms that grow down here.
What about the sausage?
I don't think you'd like that. You're a surface dweller, I can tell. You're probably not used to the type of meat we serve down here.
I'll
He
take-
kind of looks around like,
I'll take the vegetarian option.
how do you feel about insect?
You know what? I'm actually not hungry.
We do eat a lot of vegetables down here. We grow mushrooms primarily, but other subterranean type plants.
You know mushrooms are a fungus.
Do you know that you're a kind of a fungus right now?
Well,
My mother was a fungus. I'm just messing with you. I like you. I like your glowing horns. That's
yeah.
something. It brought a little light into here. The zombies don't seem to like it too much. At least the ones that can see.
It really helps me see all the dirty stuff back
So while you're having this conversation in the kitchen, the large set of double doors opens up and you see a person who's dressed in bone-clad armor with bits of sticks and things holding the bone-clad bits. It looks like various different bits of bone make up this whole armored structure. He looks as if at some point he was an elf, but his sunken-in eyes and pale skin is even paler than most drow you've seen. It's not dark anymore. It looks sunken in. He looks dead. He carries a big, long stick made from the spine of some beast, and he has a black blade. It's got a split down the middle. It almost looks like two blades attached to one handle. Is on his side. He walks in, flowing cape behind him, but it's got tattered bits on it. It's sort of a gray color. He walks with purpose directly to the table, to the head of the table.
You're in my seat.
There's a bunch of seeds here. I just grabbed one. No one told me the difference. Shall I move?
Please.
Oh, that's what I was waiting for. I'm taking my wine cup with me, though. You can have that water cup. That's gross.
So,
And he sits.
I see your son has returned. I hear you are
It seems like he's having a hard time speaking sometimes.
here to kill Gorgons.
That's correct.
Good luck.
Thank you. That was nice of you. You guys, I'm starting to warm up to you guys.
You would be heroes of this city
Heroes of the Upper City.
for this endeavor. We do not hire bounty hunters normally. I am needed here.
And you are.
I am Gerard.
I know, right?
Squid's on there. Can you speak up? I can't hear you down here.
When you go to the
He
other
went
side
to
of
the other end of the table.
I knew he was gonna do that.
You're gonna have to speak up. I can't hear you.
Your father is one of my highest ranking shamans. He is a powerful necromancer and ally to the Golgari. We are a swarm. We bring life to that which has no life. Along the way, we have made enemies.
We all.
The Gorgons are one. I have reached out to their people many times to welcome them and bury the hatchet, as that feud is old and ancient. But they blame me for their suffering. That's not untrue, but it was a long time ago. Not long after I became this, they killed the only thing in this world I loved. Savra. When I was a younger elf, we planned to raise a family. One day she went out hunting beasts in the forest and never came back.
What is about this? How Skriz is like reaching in between Liska and Elvin, like grabbing a wine bottle. I don't have a bottle down there. What is with everybody going to the forest and then he just walks all the way back down to the other end of the table? And then you hear,
Savra was my beloved, but she loved another. I didn't know this, and I decided to kill the Gorgons and rule the Golgari. Part of it was vengeance, I admit. I had ideas. But I was tricked by Sadek. For Savra loved him.
It's like getting really good though, right?
Yeah. Did we hear this once before?
Not entirely.
I thought we
Like,
heard
we
a little
can-
bit.
Sabra and
It's Sadek, yeah.
yeah.
We'd heard a little bit, but not the whole.
Sadek had plans of overthrowing the guilds by causing dissension from within. His plan seems to have had a plan B, the destruction of the guild pact. Which is where we are now. Gruul have come from the surface, aiding the Gorgons in their fights against us. Members of the Rakdos cult, with their fire magic and demon spawns, have come to aid the Gorgons as well. We have done well in fending off our gates, but...
He pauses.
I have a matter that requires my attention. solve this Gorgon problem for me, you will be allies of the Golgari. And I will pay you 10,000 gold pieces. I have not much need for money in this form, but you are still mortal. And I know that money is a powerful motivator. Before I leave, are these terms acceptable? From what I understand, you planned on doing it for free.
Then yes, I'm totally okay with it. I agree to all the terms and conditions.
In the meantime, you will have access to the Golgari Guildgate and the Golgari Hall. You may use this as a base of operations until your mission is finished. Once your mission is finished, you will no longer be permitted here permanently, but as guests only. Your residency will be revoked. Unless you choose loyalty to the Golgari.
That's what I'm gonna do every third episode. Just choose.
I see that you are members of different guilds, and you must be what's left of the Order of the Guild Pact. Even down here in the dark, I talked to Niv Mizzet. He seems to have great faith in your abilities. Don't disappoint us.
Aye, aye, Captain.
He casts a spell and disappears that you recognize as plane shift.
So the seat's empty.
Yeah.
So I got a cup of my bottle all the way back down and sit down in the seat.
He comes
I
back.
do,
for
I
this-
heard like a couple things. Did he say he was gonna pay us?
Yeah, we're gonna get 10,000 gold. All we gotta do is get rid of the Gorgon problem. He has another matter to take care of, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's so simple.
Well, the
And he had a love of it.
the temples down below, there are crypts and many things. It won't be easy.
Well, for 10,000 gold, nothing's easy.
You must beware. There are traps, ancient traps, deadly traps. Besides just the Gorgons, there are horrors that roam those halls.
Well,
Are you prepared for that?
yeah, probably after a nice good rest. No plan at all. That's our motto.
You
Where'd
have
Rocky go?
you have powerful friends.
Yeah, you're still in the kitchen cleaning dishes.
So about this time, Rocky comes out with his cup as you're kind of coming along.
How y'all doing?
You'll
Lesonar
never believe it. This
looks
lich
at
came.
all of you and says, "You have powerful friends, Nib Mizzet, and now apparently Gerard. It's not often that the guild masters spend time with, no offense, normal folk."
You know what else we have now too is clean dishes. You're welcome. That kitchen was atrocious. But don't worry, Rocky cleaned it up. I borrowed an apron, and you're gonna need more soap.
Where's
Where will we be sleeping?
We will find and arrange
Oh,
quarters
yeah,
for you,
Okay,
perhaps in the mansion.
sounds good.
Yeah, I feel like first thing in the morning we go kill some Gorgonite ass.
As you are all reflecting on this and making a plan, the lights in the dining hall fade.
Horn's still going.
High beams on.
You guys get a sense of chill in the air. You feel uncomfortable. You feel as if there is a different presence here, something that you've never felt before. And it feels powerful.
something new?
Somebody peed in my seat.
It has a very similar feeling
Who pooped my pants?
to the creature that attacked the Order of the Guild Pact.
Ruh-roh.
Daddy was
It gives you that same sense. you see Lesenar. He stands up, almost on edge. He has a staff in hand, green energy in his one palm, and like a white radiant energy coming out of the skull's eyes. He's prepared to cast something.
Chris like slides down out of the seat.
I was about to slide underneath the table and whisper to Skullfog, Lila, he's back and I need your help. Help.
Chris just slides underneath it and hides.
Lila doesn't seem to respond.
Fuck.
Bro, I'm gonna
Must
tell
be how to block my communications.
I'm gonna tell Lesnar that it's like half ethereal creature if it's the same vibe.
The darkness that seems to fill the room seems unnatural. Your light doesn't penetrate it the same way, almost as if someone has cast the darkness spell, although you didn't see anyone cast the darkness spell. Not directly beside, but from the distance, you hear the sound of bones cracking. Sort of like when you stretch your back out and you hear all the vertebrae pop. It's coming from behind Lesenar.
Could be.
Can I take a javelin and chuck it in that direction?
Sure.
I do that.
Make an attack roll at
Light
disadvantage.
comes back on. That's because Dad's getting whipped.
The javelin is just.
No? Okay.
It was a 1.
I feel like I have to
Oh,
try
did you?
to. I'll try and chuck a firebolt that way.
Make an attack roll at disadvantage.
Oh, that's only a 12.
So your firebolt goes and is enveloped by the darkness and it impacts on one of the tables nearby. You see the outline of something very large. You see what looks to be bony flesh coming off of one of its arms, long and elongated fingers with big black talons coming off of it. And it looks to be an ethereal, almost like cape around its waist as it drifts off into the darkness. As the final fire of light flickers from it, you see these sunken-in, glowing red eyes, and part of its upper lip looks like it's been completely ripped off, and only the flesh remains underneath. As this bone-like face looks back at you in the darkness with peering white eyes,
I like this.
and then it disappears. From above you, you hear the same cracking bone noise from the darkness, and this elongated fist comes out of nowhere. Big talons come out and impale Lesenar in the chest, ripping a giant hole in front of him, pulling his rib cage out from him, and flinging it on the ground.
Curious?
It happens in such a violent and fast manner that it's almost as if there's nothing that you can do. And he looks as he sees the last bit of his life flowing from him, and he looks at you, and for the first time that you ever remember, he looks filled with regret.
I would too if my chest got ripped out.
As he drops to the ground, the darkness returns to normal, and the creature is gone.
Chris is underneath the table. There's the body.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. So, I hope everybody had a cool time tonight as we have wandered into the Undercity, into the Golgari. We will be back next week figuring out what that thing was.
Oh. Or you could just tell it.
Well,
I could, but that wouldn't take all that would take all the fun out of it.
Episode.
So, we will see you next week. Have a good night.
Deuces.
Boy.
Hope you enjoyed me doing dishes.